United States, Donald J. Trump.
That's the first word I said in this beautiful setting. We have worked very hard to bring it to fruition, and not an easy situation, but it's something that I think we're all going to enjoy for many, many years to come. It's a tremendous place. This is the Rose Garden. We never touch the rose. The roses are in full bloom, and they will be in full bloom during certain seasons, but we never touched. I'll tell you what we did. The grass was not usable. Every time we'd have a press conference, women in particular were sinking deep into the mud. And at some point I said, you know, it's time to make the change. We picked a great stone, and we have a great speaker system, I hope. I hope everybody hears us perfectly. But a lot of people are wondering why you're here tonight. And I'll tell you very simply why you're here, because you are the ones that I never had to call at 4 o'clock in the morning. You are the ones that have been my friend. And you know what I'm talking about. And you're smart and even brilliant people, but you would tell people, you know, I don't speak to the president much because I always vote with the president. And Mike Johnson, who's going to go down as one of the great speakers of our time, or any other time. Mike, thank you very much. I said, Mike, I want to do something. I want to reward the people that have confidence in their president, have confidence in you, and vote for us. And that includes some of the senators that are here. We have senators, we have congressmen. This was originally going to be for Congress only. We're going to have the senators sometime, but a couple of the senators really wanted to be here. And I'm going to start off by one of them, who's a really good friend of mine, comes from a state where I was, I think, 77 out of 77.
I just need to be in a room with some of them just to give them some of my ideas. Here you go, some intellectual properties.
Is that right? I got 77 out of 77. And I did it 3 times. So I happen to love the state of Oklahoma. And I'm going to ask James Langford to come up and say grace. And he's very good at it. He's a religious guy, and we love him. And you've done a fantastic job as senator.
Damn, he got it. They saying grace.
Thank you, please.
They saying grace. Is Trump becoming religious? He's saying grace.
Father, thank you for allowing us to be here and the privilege we get to be able to serve this nation. In all the work and all the long hours and all the time, we just want to say thank you again for entrusting us with this task. And I ask for wisdom for all of us to be able to lead well by example and by task. Father, we pray for the President of the United States. We pray that you would overwhelm him with the insight and wisdom he needs for each day. The challenges around the world are on his shoulders, but we are grateful that the government is on yours, and you are the one who sustains us. So we pray for President Trump, for his family, pray for the Vice President, pray that you continue to be able to instill in them the joy of the task so that they'd be able to fulfill things well. Pray for our members of the military and intelligence community and law enforcement and so many first responders.
I want y'all to think about this. This is a conjuring right here. Do you not see what's going on? This is a conjuring right here. All of these people get together, and then they all go into a prayer, right? Basically hoping that Donald Trump's will be done. You know? He had someone come up and pray on him. So, Father God, like now he got them praying to their God for him. And he's not even Christian. Donald Trump is not even Christian, but he had them come up and pray to your God for me. And I mean, they probably doing it anyway, but
that they are in harm's way tonight as we are in safety.
You just now changed the Department of Defense to Department of War.
For this food.
Said we about to start attacking shit.
Together with each other. In the name of Jesus, I ask tonight. Amen.
Beautiful. Appreciate it. Thank you. That was very nice. So, getting back to why you got invited. So,
y'all tap that screen, share the live.
The speaker.
You know it's Sunday.
And say, sir, we have.
You know it's Sunday.
16 hard no's. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. And we have one of many bills, because this happened many times, and it tended to be the same 16, 18, 19 people all the time. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, I call them. I said, Jim, how you doing, Jim? Everything okay? Yes, sir. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. How are you voting for us, sir? Well, what do you think, sir? Tell me, what should I do, sir? And he broke my ass. And they had about 16 others. That doesn't mean we don't like them. But we had about 16, 17 or 18 others. And they made life very difficult. But we got them there. Because we had a period where we had a majority of one. Is that right, Mike? One. We were
Come
one
over to the
party
guest
attack
box
away
on
from
Ralph the
losing
Wise
our
on
city.
TikTok if you want to talk.
And nobody could have done that but that
Come
man
over
right
to the
there.
guest box on
And I
Ralph
think
the
I helped
Wise
a little
on
bit.
TikTok.
I
I'll
think I
bring
helped
you
a
up.
little bit. But Mike, unbelievable. And we passed legislation, you know, I call it the great, big, beautiful bill. I add the word great because it gives the greatest tax cuts in the history of our country. When you think no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, these are working class things. We get a
Trey, what's
deduction
going
if you
on
buy a
with you?
car, you borrow money, we deduct the interest, Jason, which is so incredible. Nobody ever heard of that. Middle class, nobody ever got deductions like that. The bill is unbelievable. In fact, we really don't need any other votes because we have everything in that. That's why it's a great, big, beautiful bill. And Scott Bessent is here, who's done a fantastic job. And he's one of the people.
Yeah, we can't watch no AI videos over here.
Plenty of good ideas.
Mama
And I
D,
think
what's going on with you? Grand Rising, Namaste, I say,
Howard,
salutations,
Leslie
shalom,
Howard,
peace.
thank you very
Appreciate
much.
you for stopping
I
through.
call them the Bobbsey twins. They're the most different human beings I've ever met. They're both great, but one is a little bit different than the other, like by about 200 yards. And they're fantastic and they get along great. But the administration has been amazing. And what we've done has not been done. A lot of people, even the people that are not necessarily lovers of President Trump, and some of them are right there in the fake news, but they said that nobody's done what we've done in 7 months, a little more than 7 months. When you think of it, we stopped 7 wars. And the war that I thought was going to be the easiest is probably the most difficult. That's the Ukraine and Russia. I thought that would be easier, the relationship with President Putin, all of that. It didn't matter. It's ended up being probably the most difficult.
Tap your mobile device, tap the screen.
One was going on for 31 years. They said it was unstoppable.
Oh, I ain't got no
it
mods
done
in
about
here
2
yet.
hours. Another one 35 years and another one 37 years. And we got them all done, but we got 7 of them done. We ended up stopping 6 hours. Not a single mishap, not a single problem. They looked just like, I tell you, they were great. They were, every one of them, and they were looking forward to that mission. I said, did you really want to go? They said, sir, we've been waiting for 22 years. They said, for 22 years, their predecessors have been practicing 3 to 4 times a year that mission because they knew someday they had to take it out. And they said, no other president had the courage to let us go, sir, and you did. I said, were you happy or unhappy about that? And they could not have been.
Y'all make sure if y'all get a chance, go follow, Golden's page, Mama D's page. They have been, getting out, like trying to find their own, wave on YouTube, trying to find their own collective on YouTube. I'm glad that they, come over here and venture, into our collective. I feel like they're part of this collective, but, they are still trying to find their own space, their own collective. And that's all we really want is like good people, good spaces. We're all talking about pretty much the same thing in the world. We're all trying to keep up with the madness that's going on in the world without bringing the negative, right? We all trying to keep up with the madness that's going on in the world. We just don't want the negative that come with it, right? We want to know what's going on in the world. We want to find spaces where we can talk about certain things, but we don't want what we say to affect other people. And for some reason, everybody is applying feelings and emotions to conversations now. So we have to stay away from those who put too much feelings and emotions and opinions, because someone's going to judge you off of your opinion when your opinion can change from moment to moment. Think about it. Trump pushed peace, and now he's like, we're the Department of War. We're going to get on the offensive. So are you pushing peace or are you pushing war? You stopping other wars and saying that we about to start some shit? So we don't know what's going on. We don't know up, down. It's a lot of circle talk. a lot of confusion talk, right? You know, a lot of this is speculation talk over. You know, politically, from a political standpoint, this is just like The Apprentice. This is like a reality show now, guys. The presidency is like a reality show. These dinners that they have and so on and so forth. He ready for a live stream.
Happier. They loved it. They were so disappointed when I heard one of the news outlets give
Is Trump on
information as to
Twitch?
when we were taking off, when we were landing. I called our great General Kane. As you know, he's done a phenomenal, I don't know if he's here, but he did a phenomenal
Trump
job.
gonna be the first
And he's
president
done a
on
phenomenal
Twitch.
job, head of the Joint Chiefs now, because
When
he
Trump
wiped
get done
out
being
ISIS.
president, he gonna go get a
So-
Twitch and become a streamer. Watch.
You know, General Kane, I was told it would take 4 years to defeat ISIS. He did it in 4 weeks. I said, he's my guy for the top. And he really knows how to win. But
I
what
wouldn't
we've
look
done
at
has
us as
been
being in the trash.
incredible. I'm so happy about that, but I'm really happy when you see almost $17 trillion will be invested in this country over the next few months, actually. We started from the day we came in.
You're lying.
November 5th was a big day.
$17
It was
trillion?
Liberation Day in a lot of
He's
different
lying.
ways. It's a lot of different forms of liberation, but what we really have is something that I don't think any country has ever had. We're going to have over 17 trillion, and that number is going to go much higher than that.
We did
invested
something.
in our country, and it's being
We
invested
sold
right
satellites
now
or
as we
something.
speak.
We
have
sold
factories from
satellites.
all over the world coming
did
in.
something.
We have car plants that were stolen from us. We had 40%, 47% of our car
Technology.
industry stolen from us over
Is
the
it Elon
last
Musk gonna
40
open
years,
up a
and I
lot
think
of
the number's
Teslas or
actually much
something?
higher
What's
than
going
that. They
on?
say
Something.
47. I think it's
It's a
lot
catch
higher.
to this. Something
It's
ain't
all
right.
coming back. The AI plants are massive. Some of them cost $50 billion. We're allowing them to build electricity with their plant. Nobody ever heard of that before. They're built, and if we didn't do that, they couldn't hook into the grid. We wouldn't have AI. We're substantially leading China. China knows it. We're substantially, and most of those people were here. You know, you're the first ones on this great place. We call it the Rose Garden Club, and it's a club for senators.
All my bots, all my bots, come on in. All my bots, all my AI, come on in. AI, come on in. We gotta listen to this AI. You know, I identify as AI now, so these is my people.
Because it rained last
AI
night.
is my
I had
people.
the high-tech guys we're gonna hear, and they didn't want to have rain on top of their beautiful heads. We had the highest IQ last night in the history of the world, and we took them inside because 2 reasons. Number one, I wanted you to be number one, and you were. They could have endured the little rain, but I wanted you to be number one. And I would say I would match IQ.
Yeah, Trump got his peoples
tonight
watching
here
me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get into the same space with Trump, you know, so we can hold a conversation about this filling.com so we can change the unemployment rate.
Investing tens of billions, they're investing trillions of dollars. Some of the
Trying to talk to
companies are
Trump
investing
representatives
literally trillions
so
of
we could
dollars
talk about this
in this great country of ours. So
great business
we
I
turned
got.
it around to a level we were
You know?
given a
Trying to get in touch with, you know, some Trump supporters or, you know, some Trump investors or Trump himself, because with this idea that I have, it can change the unemployment rate. So, you know what they say, go big or go home, you know. You know, when you got something like Uber or one of these other ideas, you know, I'm going to need to get in touch with the Zuckerbergs, I'm going to need to talk to them because they got the applications that one would need to put out such a great idea, right? So if it's an idea that's going to change the unemployment rate, I need to get in touch with the higher ups, you know? It's not delusional. You haven't even heard the idea, Kevin. That's how I know you're the delusional one, because you haven't even heard the idea and you're already passing judgment. That's how I know you're the one that's delusional. You could have said, okay, let's hear this idea you have, right? You didn't say that, right? You jumped straight to, you're delusional. Why? Because I have a great idea. I have a dream. That what you saying? Because I dream a better tomorrow today, I'm delusional? No, I think you're delusional to continue to live in the world that you live in and not dream a better day. I think you're delusional to think that the world you live in is all that is and all that will be. You know? See? Look at that, Kevin. You don't even know what I have. And obviously, I have something that you want because you're in this space right now typing in the comment section. So obviously, you want a crowd like this. Obviously, you want attention. I don't know who Kevin is. Kevin Johnson in the comment section, felt the need to try to make attacks at me just for having an idea. I don't know who he is. I'm reading the comment section like everybody else. I said nothing wrong. Not you, Hypernova. They would steal your idea in seconds. Okay, so you just now said I don't have nothing nobody wants, and then you said they'll steal your idea in seconds. Which one is it? Do I not have something that they want, or will they steal the idea in seconds? Which one is it? Because it's not making sense, but I'll digress.
Very bad hand. We had 25 million people allowed to come into our country, come in from mental institutions, prisons from all over the world, emptied their prisons out into this country. Drug dealers, drug addicts, we have everything. They were allowed to come in. Murderers, 11,788 murderers, 50% of whom killed more than one person during their life. They were allowed to come into our country by the Democrats and by Sleepy Joe. And that was a thing. Now, they had the worst inflation in history. We've got the inflation down, but inflation is nothing compared to what I just told you. To allow 25, I believe the real number is 25 million people into this country, many of whom should never have been allowed into this country. And we're doing a great job in getting them out. And we're getting them out by the thousands every month, every week in some cases. And one example is right over here, Washington, D.C. It was the most unsafe city anywhere in the country, our capital. And after 12 days, it became known as a safe city. And then after 2 more days, it's now one of the safest cities in the country, and people are going out to dinner. They're walking down the middle of the street. Women are walking by themselves alone, and they feel totally safe. And if you leave here right now, and if you walk back to wherever you happen to stay, you're going to feel totally secure, totally safe. We've done an incredible job, and we'll be doing that with other cities throughout the country. I mean, when you look at Chicago, we have a governor that says that things are okay with crime, except that last weekend, 11 people were killed and 68 people were wounded by gunshot. The week before, 5 people were killed, 28 people were wounded. The week before, 6 people were killed, 19 people were badly wounded. Many of the wounded are going to die. And he said, oh,
Right.
well, we have a safe city. These people are sick. There's something wrong with them. But we're going to make some other choices pretty soon. I watched Portland, Oregon last night.
It says the meek and the Herod should inherit the earth.
He's a professional.
But it say don't worry about them. If he's not who you think he is, let them worry about themselves.
By the left, not by the right.
But see, that's the thing, though.
We're going to stop it all.
You guys keep on saying this like, oh, you guys think Trump is good. Oh, you guys think Trump is good. Let me ask you a question. Did we have a good guy running in any race in all the elections that we had? Right? When you look back at it and you realize all of them are related and all of them are on the same, tree of life, all of them have the same bloodline. When you look at that and you realize, damn, they really just kept it in the family. Right? You go back and you look at the bloodline of the presidency. Trump is the only president that's not a part of the bloodline that connects the other presidents. Ain't that ironic? 44 presidents down the line and they're all fucking related. And you wonder why Trump is so, where'd he come from? Right? He's not of that bloodline that was connected. All these other players that's in the game, they have connections. Kevin Johnson, you don't know the history of your presidents? Huh? You never did a lineup of like the president's bloodline and the connections and how many, are related? You never did that? Damn. I mean, every February in school we had to write about a president. You should have picked a president every February to write about, a different president every February. So you should know about the presidents. I mean, in school they literally made us do one for President's Day every damn year. Never mind.
So we're pretty much.
Guess I was the only one actually paying attention in school.
Zero crime. They said crime is down 87%. I said, really? Who are the 13%? Okay, I don't think they exist. So we're so proud of because this is our nation's capital. Now we're going to be coming to you for a small amount of money. We're going to beautify Washington. We're going to fix the roads. We're going to fix the medians. We're going to clean up the place. We're going to put new grass in all the parks. You don't know this. Grass has a life. You know that, Mike? Grass has a life like we have a life. It's so long. Guess what? It expired about 40 years ago in these parks. There's no grass on half of them.
I was not homeschooled, Kevin.
We're going to re-grass them with the best guys in the country. We're going to grass them by people that do Augusta in Georgia, people that do the great golf courses of the world. We're going to have the most beautiful parks. We're going to fix the curbs.
I graduated.
Some of your curbs are broken. You know what?
Went to
They're
college.
hitting them with a hammer.
Sorry.
So they can pick it up and throw
Wrong
it
guy,
at the police.
Kevin.
But not anymore. They're not. Not anymore. So we have the safest place, Washington, D.C., and we'll be going to other cities to help out. Preferably, we'd like to be asked. But in some cases, that just won't happen
don't.
because they're people that
You're right.
don't understand the word
They
ask.
They don't discuss that type of stuff in school. They don't discuss that type of stuff in school. You're right. But when I looked at it and I was like, damn, so Obama is related to this person who is the grandmom of this person. When Obama said he was raised by his grandmom and his mom, his grandparents and his mom, his grandparents and his mom, right? And he said back then it was different laws back then, right? And he was telling you how he flew back and forth between his mom and his grandparents, right? Obama was telling us this story and how his granddad had a different idea of life back then, right? He was talking about because you know who his grandparent is, right? One's in the chat if you know who Barack Obama, is related to. One's in the chat. No, do we have to look this up today? Is today an education day?
But these are high crime areas, as high as there is in the world. You can go to Afghanistan. You can go to places that you think of are like unsafe. You're safer there than you are in Chicago at night. But we're going to make Chicago like this. We're going to make Louisiana. We have a great governor there. We're going to make, and a great, by the way.
Nah, we can't do it because y'all ain't even getting the likes up.
But we're going to come into
You got
New
18
Orleans
likes
and
in
we're
here,
gonna make
man.
that place so safe.
Tap the
It's got a little
screen, tap the
problem right
screen.
now, a couple of headaches like murders.
Yeah, I got a
There's
computer and
murders going on.
PowerPoint
We're not
right
gonna
here.
stand for it. And we're going to come in, we're going to clean it up.
Hey,
we're gonna
listen.
be safe.
You guys are good. You guys are good. That's why I say subscribe to this page, because you're good. We got everything we need right here. Look, we can keep watching this and pull something up on this screen over here, right? We can keep watching this and pull something up on this screen right over here, right? So, we good. I got the computer. I got the computer. It's good. Got the mic. We good. You thank Allstate. When you over here, thank Allstate. You're in good hands. You know what I'm saying? Thank Allstate. Put us on. Yeah, I got like ADHD, so my mind is always running like 1,000 miles a minute. So I look a bunch of stuff up. Zachariah Stitchens. All types of stuff. Grand Rising. I look a lot of stuff up. You know what I'm saying? I just be looking shit up, looking into a lot of shit, studying a lot of shit. Numberology, colorology, the 88 constellations of the sky. Digging into the Lyran constellation right now. But all things considered, you know what I'm saying? Like anything and everything should be of a study. One has made a way to, close off the dimensions of the mind. Knowledge is power when it comes down to it. And the study of history is actually intriguing, but you guys block off a lot of, unknown stuff or whatever. So y'all don't read, or, you guys shun people for reading. I remember when I was a kid and I used to read Goosebumps. Everybody used to try to tease me for reading Goosebumps and different books like that. And I'm like, damn, I thought reading was fundamental. Get it? Fun to the mental, fundamental. Anytime you see mint, it's talking about your mind. So when you see firmament, it's talking about a firmer mind. When you see testament, it's talking about testing the mind. When you see, government, it's talking about governing the mind. So, and that's just a little bit of wordology, because there's a play that's in words. There's a spell that's in words. So I'm always trying to pay attention to that spell that's in the word. I'm always trying to read in between a lot of stuff and trying to have an understanding on things instead of an understanding on things. You know what I mean? But in all things considered, man, we got to have some variation of a sit down, to where as though we put certain levels of knowledge back into the vessels of mankind. Because right now, mankind is dumb as hell. And I don't know, maybe we need to, maybe I just need to talk to the women and tell the women, stop giving dumb niggas pussy. Like, stop giving the dumb niggas, like, stop procreating with them. You know what I'm saying? Because dumb niggas bringing in dumb niggas, and now we just a bunch of dumb niggas. Like, I'm sorry, I hate to say it like that, but right now the world is not moving into an intellectual type of, it's moving more into just feelings and emotions. You know what I mean? Everybody's lusting, greeding, all these lower vibrations, but nobody is acting of logic or intelligence. You know what I mean? You look at Trump and them, and it's just a show of egos. It's just a push of egos. You know what I mean? So it's like he's boasting about all the money, 17 trillion, so on and so forth. But nobody's talking about Chicago putting up a wall to keep Trump out. Chicago ain't putting up a wall for crimes, criminals, whatever. Chicago putting up a wall to keep Trump out. You know what I mean? So obviously you ain't in good with everybody. Now I'm saying, if he for the peace, then let's push towards that peace. Let's find a way. You know what I'm saying? You changed it to the Department of War. Why you ain't change it to the Department of Peace? Why you ain't give that shit a whole new name? Why you ain't change that shit to the Department of Peace? Because you seem to be selling all the motherfucking pieces out of the department anyway. So why not just call it the Department of Peace, and it'll have a catch to it, and you just sell all the shit that you already selling to make your family and everybody else rich? Because that's all he doing. The age of technology is upon us. We about to damn near go into some Terminator shit. You hear me? This shit about to be like Terminator. You hear me? You don't see the amount of technology he about to bring into this world? $17 trillion in the next couple of months. That's what? We've been in $1 trillion trader debts with China for how long? Where is this $17 trillion coming from? Huh? And America is lazy. Where's the workers coming from? I don't give a fuck if you do build the factories, right? If you do build the factories, that don't mean you're going to put the people in it, because the people is lazy. America done became lazy. They feel like they don't have to work. We tired of working. Y'all got to let up off of us. We watched our grandparents, our parents work for companies, nothing come out of it. We watched their pension go, nothing come out of it. We watch companies do our, we watch this shit already. So at this moment, at this time, you know what I'm saying? We kind of skeptical about this whole working thing. We ready to just have family time and so on and so forth. Unless you love your job, then it's different, Jason. You love your job, Damn, you listening to my background like that? You listening to lighters sparking the background and shit, trying to see what the fuck goes on? Damn, if you want to know what the fuck goes on, just ask me what the fuck goes on. I'm not afraid to tell you. You ain't gotta try to listen. Yes, I am doing exactly what it is that you said I'm doing. And see, that's the problem. You guys are focused on the wrong shit. At least sub to the page. At least hit the like button. Shit, hit the dislike button if you like. You know? And since it's kind of early, just copy the link. You ain't got to share the page. Just copy the link. But this is, we listening and chatting. We listening and chatting.
2 weeks, that's going to be the safest place, just like this is the safest place.
They're trying
and then
to
we'll be
drain the
going
last
elsewhere
of the
throughout
wealth
the
from the
country. We're going to
working
bring
and
crime
middle
down
class.
because
They
we can't
doing
have cities
something
that are
there,
unsafe.
man. Come on.
I just want to thank
Shit
you for
crazy.
this is a special group, and it is true. There's not one person in this audience that I had to call to ask for help, that we needed your vote. You're unbelievable people. That includes you, Jason. There's nobody that knows more about tax and money than that man right there. I'll tell you, there's nobody. It's true. And I'm saying that in front of a lot of television, Jason, so I can't ever take it back, but it's true. You do a phenomenal job. Mike, you surround yourself with, whether it's defense or anything else, I could name every single person here, and amazing. But you make my life easy.
I never
You
have
trust
to
me,
call on you for a
trust
vote.
Mike, you trust leadership, you trust yourselves, and you don't make us make the call. One of you said, you know, I don't speak to the president much. I like the president, but I always vote for him. I don't want him to have to waste. I have people, and you know who they are, that I have to call.
You see how he
speak to
repeated
them.
that 2
James,
times?
is that right? For hours.
This is like,
Hours. I know they're going to vote
listen,
for us.
listen. This is 16 minutes in, right? This is 16 minutes in. He repeated the same thing twice. You know, like one of them old people in the family that you sit down and talk to, and they keep on telling you the same stories over and over again, and almost to where as though you can repeat them verbatim because you're like, Grandpa, this is the same story, Grandpa. I heard this one already. You know what I mean?
But I have to speak to him.
In the beginning, he said, I never have to call on you
And
people.
It's not like at
Now he's right back to
3 in the
saying,
afternoon.
I never
It's
have to
like
call on
3
you
in the
people.
morning, right? 3 in the morning. You hear that sound of the train? The train is safe now. We don't have to worry about it. Isn't that a beautiful?
Look,
It's a much
he re-
nice, you know, it's
Okay,
a much
look.
nicer sound now than
Let's
it was.
go back. Let's go back. When he first
I
came
want
out.
them all 3 times. The great speakers of our 4 o'clock in the morning. Women in particular were sinking deep into the mud. The roses are in full to bring it to fruition, and not an easy word I said
What?
in this beautiful setting.
In the beginning, he said, I never have to call on you people.
To bring it to fruition, and not an easy situation, but it's something that I think we're all going to enjoy for many, many years to come. It's a tremendous, tremendous place. This is the Rose Garden. We never touched a rose. The roses are in full bloom, and they will be in full bloom during certain seasons, but we never touched.
You don't think he got 3 years in
The
him?
grass was not usable. Every time we'd have a press conference, women in particular were sinking deep into the mud. And at some point I said, you know, it's time to make the change. We picked a great 4 o'clock in the morning. You had to call at 4 o'clock in the morning. You are the ones that have been my friend.
See? He said it in the
You know what I'm
beginning.
talking about. And you're smart and even brilliant people, but you would tell people, you know, I don't speak to the president much because I always vote with the president. And Mike Johnson, who's going to go down as one of the great speakers of our time.
1 minute in,
I'll tell you.
and then 16 minutes in, he repeat the same thing.
And I'm saying that in front of a lot of television, Jason, so I can't ever take it back, but it's true. You do a phenomenal job. Mike, you surround yourself with, whether it's defense or anything else, everyone.
He apprenticed the presidency.
And amazing.
Listen, look, I want y'all to think about what happened, right? The first time he was president, right, he tried to do it their way, right? He had the whole thing going on with release your taxes, so on and so forth, right? He had the whole thing going on with that bank that had ties to the KGB, that he had facts coming in from that bank. and so on and so forth, right? That's why he was trying to point out, Hillary's, mishaps. Remember that when he was trying to point out Hillary's, where's the files at, so on and so forth, right? That was at the time that they were looking at phone calls that was made to him, from a connected bank that might have had ties to the KGB. 85% of the facts that came in was from that bank. Particularly, they was trying to say that Trump possibly got loans from the KGB, allegedly, supposedly, right? The first time. There was a lot of stuff going on that first time, right? And then, then you have this, which is the witch hunt of the Epsteins and all of this other stuff. Like every time Trump was running, like they made it difficult, right? And then Trump just happened to brush shoulders with the right people to get the funding that he need. This time it was Elon Musk. You see what's going on with Kamala. She put herself in debt. They trying to find out what happened to some funds, so on and so forth, right? There's a lot of corruption, more corruption than what you want to believe. And if Trump is talking about billions of trillions of dollars, damn well his family's about to come out nice, in all of this. They're, it's not, he's not putting this in play, for nothing else. They're going to come out billion. I mean, I think they're making like 2 billion. He's telling y'all about some numbers with NATO, 350 billion. And, he told y'all some numbers with, Zuckerberg and them at the table last night, Bill Gates and them at the table last night, showed y'all that we're moving into a technology-based world. So you better get to know your phone or get to know y'all computer. Y'all better stop complaining about computers and you better get to know this shit, because he's about to reshape the way we see this world with AI technology. See, we supposed to, have a great awakening, whatever you want to call it. And he keeps saying woke society this and woke society that. But in reality, he is changing the way the world is, because he's pushing AI. Look, you got Melania also talking about AI. She did the dinner party talking about AI, right? He's telling you that $17 trillion, allegedly, that's what he's saying, but he's telling you 17 trillion is about to come in within the next 8 months. All from AI, all from the companies that they're going to build using AI. They need the space, so on and so forth. This is drones. This is drone technology. So now we about to invest into drone technology, because that's what they're talking about, controlling the air. If you want to control the air, you're talking about the drones. Remember, Russia is drone attacks, right? So they're telling you, Elon Musk, electricity, the space station that's in Colorado, or where, not Colorado, they just moved it. Where they moved it to, right? Elon Musk has the space station there where they just moved our command center to, right? They telling you what they setting up for. They're going to do everything they can to protect the internet, because they're moving into a digital currency, right? So if you moving our money system into a form of digital, you have to have a way to protect that digital, right? So that's what they're telling you. Like, we're moving into AI technology. It's all about money. You know what I mean? Bitcoin, so on and so forth, this, that, and the third. It's all about money, right? So everything is moving into a technology base, right? So when you're talking about that, now you're talking about, TikTok. Now you're talking about YouTube. Now you're talking about Twitch. Now you're talking about why the streamers are getting so much money. In fact, why do you think the way you purchase your shows like Prime, why you think all of that stuff is changing? Why you think HBO is changing? Why you think all of that is changing? Why you think they're putting commercials in streaming now? Before, they didn't put commercials in streaming because people were watching TV, right? Now you're not watching TV. Now you're on your phone streaming everything. Nobody wants to, man, listen, I'll binge watch something before I watch it, right? So now they're implementing 2 ways of now you get the $9.99 package. It comes with commercials. You got to get the $16 to $19.99 if you want commercial-free streaming, right? Why do you think they doing that? Huh? right? Stone cold. Just leave. Nobody even knew you was here. I hate when y'all come in and try to act like y'all have to announce that y'all leaving. That shit don't make sense. You ain't announced that you was here. Don't come in and try to announce that you leaving. I'm not going to do what everyone thinks I'm going to do. All I want to know is who's coming with me. Like, what is the point of announcing that you're here? And then you have to stick around because you have to see how many people respond to that, right? You have to see if somebody say, I'm out with you, right? So you're lying to yourself saying that you're about to leave because you got to stick around for the response. And you're typing something right now, so therefore you're still here and you're not out like you said.
Make my life easy. You trust me, you trust Mike, you trust leadership, you trust yourselves, and you don't make us make the call. One of you said, you know, I don't speak to the president much. I like the president, but I always vote for him. I don't want him to have to waste. I have people, and you know who they are, that I have to call.
Everything is
speak
becoming
to
a
them.
subscription. Yeah.
James, is that right? For hours. Hours. I know they're going to vote for us, but I have to speak to them for hours. And it's brutal. And it's not like...
Why not just leave? Why announce that you're leaving?
3 in the morning.
Just leave.
Right? 3 in the morning.
Just sneak
You hear
out.
that sound of the train? The train is safe.
Sneak
now.
out. Don't even
You
tell
have
us
to
you
worry about
leaving.
it.
Just
Isn't
sneak
that
out.
beautiful? It's a much nice... You know, it's a much nicer sound now than it was 3 months ago. But, so this is a very special group. And I say that with love for all those other people
See, you
that
still
have to work
here.
so hard, but they vote for us. They do
See,
vote for us.
you still
Otherwise, we
here,
wouldn't be
down.
Doing what
You
we're
just
doing.
said you was leaving,
But
man.
you are the people that I
You
was.
just said you was leaving, man.
We have to reward the people that I don't get to speak to that I like so much. Doc Ronnie, where's Doc Ronnie? Unbelievable doctor. He was the doctor in the White House. He was a great actor.
They want us to say
and
bye,
he's one
Jason?
of the most popular politicians.
Okay, we'll say bye
in this
to him
country.
next time.
He won his district by
'Cause I don't
50
really
points,
say
right?
bye. I say see you later. 'Cause I
He's
don't
got
believe
one
in
of the great
saying bye.
districts. But Doc Ronnie, the reason I like him, he was a doctor, the White House. He took care of Bush, took care of Obama, took care of
Peace
Trump.
out. Peace out.
And the fake news right over here, they said to him, Doctor, could we ask you a question? Yes, what would you like? Who's the healthiest, Bush, Obama, or Trump? He said, there's not even a contest by far.
Hey
the
Siri,
healthiest
set a timer
is
for 5
President Donald
minutes.
J. Trump. I said,
Hey,
I
let
love
me
that
know
guy.
when I
That
need
guy
to
is
leave
cool.
this room.
I'm sure that Bush and Obama don't feel the
So
same
for the
way, but
5
nobody
minutes, you
cares,
trying to
right?
see how many people you could take with you?
I want to thank you, Ronnie. You've been great in every way, and you've been a great congressman, and you're not a congressman that I had to call. I never had to call you at 2 in the morning to get your vote, did I? Huh? But you're the same, and I just want to thank everybody. You're a special group of people, and you're the first people that I've had at the White House, at the Rose Garden, and it's an honor to have you. Now I want you to sit down, have a great meal. The food is seriously good. We'll say goodbye to the press, but it's an honor to have you. And actually, the press has been very good lately, except for one rumor that they spread. I did about 8 press conferences in a row, day after day after day. Then I missed one because I was in the Oval Office.
And they said I was
also
dead.
went to a club because I had meetings at the club. And they saw that I was dead. And the rumor started spreading, this horrible rumor that Trump is no longer with us. They said, no. And I said, I got to the club, sir, are you okay? Are you okay? The fake news was at it again. But because I missed one day of press conferences, so today I gave them about a 3-hour press conferences on changing the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Because, you know,
It was not 3 hours, Trump.
World War I, World War II, everything in between and everything in front of it. It was called Department of War. And then we went woke.
He's
after
telling
the
you.
Second World War.
We went
Incredible
woke.
victory, and we said, let's.
They didn't even know what woke was. Nobody was talking about woke in
War means something.
1947.
It means we're not going to have any problems. We don't want problems with people. And I've kept us out of wars. I've solved wars. But the way you solve wars is through strength. And that's what we are. We make the best equipment in the world. We have the best soldiers. We have the most powerful military anywhere in the world. We rebuilt it in my first term. As you know, we rebuilt it in our first term. And we have the greatest military. We gave some away to Afghanistan, which was not exactly good. That was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. That day in Afghanistan was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And they kept military equipment, but fortunately it's a very small percentage compared to what it was. But the fact that they could keep any. But I just want to thank you all. You've been unbelievable. I'll be with you for the rest of my life. I will be with you, and you're going to be with me and with leadership. And Mike, I want to thank you for being.
You heard what he said.
You've been really outstanding.
Listen, he just told y'all something. He said, for the rest of my life, I will be with you. Right? He said, for the rest of my life, I will be with you. How? You only got 3 more years. That means he's setting shit up to stay in that place. Either he's going to move to the defense, to that Department of Defense, Department of War, whatever it is. He trying to be a god of war.
Working with you has been an honor. And thank you. And congratulations on being #1. This is historic because you're #1 here. And this little circle, this little beautiful grouping of some of the finest stone in the world, this is, I think, going to go down as a very important place over the period of time for news conferences, for celebrations, for dinners. And we're going to bring people together here. We're going to bring maybe some of the Democrats. We'll say the Democrats are invited. Now, we'll do that for about a week.
He's mentioning that stone. I got to look into what type of stone he just put in that rose garden to see if it's a 155 stone or a 144 stone. I want to see what type of stone he just rebuilt that
Republicans and Democrats got together and they go out to dinner.
It's probably an energy harvesting stone, I guarantee you.
A lot of times they'd get 20%, 30%.
Look how bright those lights is behind them.
And today that doesn't happen. It's solid blocks one way or the other, and probably that shouldn't be. But
and demonic energy.
I just want to thank you all. You've been unbelievable. You're warriors, and we're going to make America so great, so much better than anybody ever thought. We're going to make America great again, but much, much better than anybody ever envisioned. Thank you all for being with us. A great honor. Thank you.
I want to see what type of stone that is. I would like to see what type of stone that is up under that ground. Cause he talking about that stone. See, look, this the one he did 1.5 hours. He did 1.5 hours giving them the defense stuff, and he said, "Yeah, I gave him about a 3-hour meeting." This how you know. Look, this is the 1.5 hour meeting where he changed it to the Department of Defense, and this is that 1.5 hours. And he just told them at the dinner, he was like, I gave them about 3 hours, of talking to I gave the media about 3 hours of talking about, changing it to the Department of War and how we're going to move back into the offense and how we're going to start. So you got to pay attention, let's get the likes up, YouTube. Let's try to get the likes up. And like I said, if you want to come up in the box, then, come over to TikTok where you can come up in the box. Same name, ralphdawise, over there. We have we're opened up over there too, so we can build that room up. Only got like 100 people following that page, but it'll get there. He said when people tell you who they are, Sam, it's best to just listen. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, big stone from Lebanon. That's what I'm saying. I want to see what type of stone that was, because that stone is something. That stone is, you got to remember, like they saying that crystals are awakening now. The vibrational frequency of some of this stuff is, affecting the vessel, the body. If you stand on concrete too long, your knees will go bad, so on and so forth, whatever you want to say. So, he said that, that garden was actually, weak because the ground was soft, so soft or whatever, used to sink into it or whatever, sitting in the chairs or whatever the case may be. I want to know what type of stone he laid, that foundation with, because it's probably some type of energy harvesting stone.
Executive order today, but we're going to find out. We're going to see. if they do wiggle,
This is what I'm saying. I don't know. I think this was probably a response to China. You know, I think this was more so like a response to China and their, military parade than anything. This is like telling them, like, y'all better back off. We still got some shit over here. You know what I mean, or whatever. Because moving to technology, we have these satellite weapons now, I guess, do weapons that they keep on not talking about, but talking about, Project Bluebeam, so on and so forth. Maybe America is about to, disclose some of the real weapons that they are working on, the laser weapons, the, whatever, maybe maybe there is programs that are, more so, related to this satellite, some of the stuff that we've seen in our movies, maybe there is a form of this stuff going on. What was that one movie, Eagle Eye, where it was like everybody was being watched? I mean, they say that your phones are watching you now. They say a lot of times if you cover up the camera on your phone, Siri can't hear you, which is ironic because if you cover up the camera, the phone doesn't respond to the voice. So Google, Siri, whoever you're using, if you cover up your camera and you talk, it doesn't respond. That means it's looking at your ass. And they also say that it knows that you're about to ask a question 30 seconds before you ask the question. Ain't that crazy? That the damn thing start recording 30 seconds before you ask the question. Okay.
Calls and text messages.
If you don't think your mind is more connected to shit.
If
you don't think your mind is more connected to shit.
Owning a home, they're able to do so without being harassed.
good job. It's a great honor, John. Okay, there it is. And that's gonna help a lot of the homeowners of our great country.
What you say, Jason?
John, wanna hold that?
Sure.
Yeah, now you hold it with my
Thank you,
signature
John.
on there.
Thank you very much.
My
Thank you
nice
very much.
signature. I got such a nice
Okay, Will,
signature.
you go ahead.
And I'd like to leave you with this gift from a constituent back in Tennessee.
I'm not a crazy
Use that
person.
at night.
Look it
An
up.
American flag.
That's very nice, I like that.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. That's very nice.
Next, we have a number of executive orders for your attention, sir.
Okay.
From 1789 until 1947, our nation won some of its greatest military victories under the direction of a Secretary of War operating within a Department of War. Today, with this executive order, you will authorize the current Secretary of Defense and the current Department of Defense to once again embrace this great lineage and once again be named the Secretary of War and the Department of War.
So this is something we thought long and hard about. We've been talking about it for months, Pete and I and Dan. Dan came into the fold, by the way, a
The
great general.
Department of
Ended up
War.
being- I wouldn't call it an attack. I'd almost call that one maybe even more than
This
an attack.
now,
It
dude,
was,
get to walk around and say,
so the success
"I'm the Secretary of
that
War."
operation was perfect. In fact, this was sent to me by the great company that makes that particular B-2 bomber. And it was flawless. It was actually flawless. They flew for 37 hours back and forth, and there wasn't a bolt that was out of condition. There wasn't an engine failure. There was no problem. It was a perfect attack, and it knocked out any possible nuclear capability for Iran, which nobody wanted to see, and we weren't going to put up with. So, great job, Dan. And we've been talking about this Department of War. So we won the First World War, we won the Second World War, we won everything before that and in between, and then we decided to go woke and we changed the name to Department of Defense. So we're going Department of War.
That is not what
I'd
happened.
like to ask our Secretary of War to say a few words. Pete Hegseth, I think it's a much more appropriate name, especially in light of where the world is right now. We have the strongest military in the world. We have the greatest equipment in the world. We have the greatest manufacturers of equipment by far.
Why didn't he
There's
name
nobody
it the
even
Department of
compete. And you see
Peace?
that with this.
He's
and
pushing
so
for
many other
peace.
things.
Why didn't he go with Department
The
of
Patriots
Peace?
are the best. Every element of the military we make the best by far. So Peter, I'd like to ask you and maybe Dan Raisingame to say a few words, please.
Mr. President, thank you. After winning a war for independence,
Listen to
in
what he
1789, George Washington established
War
the
sounds cool.
and Henry Knox was his first Secretary of War. And this country won every major war after that, to include World War I and World War II. Total victory, Mr. President, as you said. Then 150 years after that, we changed the name after World War II from the Department of War to the Department of Defense in 1947. And as you pointed out, Mr. President, we haven't won a major war since, and that's not to disparage our warfighters, whether it's the Korean War, the Vietnam War, or our generation of Iraq and Afghanistan. That's to recognize that this name
I thought we
change
won
is
all
not
of them.
just about renaming, it's about restoring.
So we've been losing?
It's restoring, as
Wait.
you guided us to, Mr. President, restoring.
We've been losing since World War II? We've been losing since World War II, guys? What the fuck? We've been losing? Hold on. One's in the chat. Y'all knew we've been losing? I thought we had Rambo and Chuck Norris. Walker's Texas Ranger and shit. We've been losing? Crazy work. I thought we had G.I. Joe and shit like that. This is crazy. Don't we got like the Fantastic Four and fucking Marvel and DC? Don't we got all of them? We've been losing? Nah.
Mr. President, as you said. Then 150 years
Tom
after
Cruise,
that,
right.
we changed the name after World War II from the Department of War to the Department of Defense in 1947. And as you pointed out, Mr. President,
You
we
got
haven't
the
won a
moon
major war
landing.
since, and that's not to disparage our warfighters, whether it's the Korean War, the Vietnam War, or our
Everything's
generation
been a
of
lie.
Iraq and Afghanistan. That's to recognize that this name change is not just about renaming, it's about restoring. Words matter. It's restoring, as you've guided us to, Mr. President, restoring
words
the
matter.
ethos. Restoring victory and clarity as an end state. Restoring intentionality to the use of force. So, at your direction, Mr. President, the War Department is going to fight decisively, not endless conflicts. It's going to fight to win, not to lose. We're going to go on offense, not just on defense. Maximum lethality, not tepid legality.
Can I ask y'all, what is maximum lethality? Yeah, it was Department of War prior to 1947. No, I'm not saying the name change is the name change is him wanting to change it back to the Department of War, right? We got to remember why we changed it to the Department of Defense, right? This was after World War II, right? You know, World War II started 1932, 1935. We had the Olympics there in like 32 or something like that in Germany, and then, you know, 19 or Russia, wherever, and then in 1935 or whatever, the war started, right? So 1947, that's why they changed to, you know, the Department of Defense, right? Because that, you know, the heinous things that was taking place in that war, right? That's why they changed it to Department of Defense. And you know what I mean? But you wiping out that whole piece of history if you really change it back, because you're saying that, you know, you heard what he just said, maximum lethality. You know what I mean? That could be psychological warfare. That could be, you know what I mean? Maximum lethality.
Violent effect, not politically correct.
Your history book
We're gonna
is the
raise up
book.
warriors, not just defenders.
Hold on. Your history Your history, Sam, your history book. Go look at the history. Go look at the history, right? The Holocaust. Remember the Holocaust, right? The diary. You know what I mean? You remember that? Huh? 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 Maybe you remember that stuff? The bombs that was dropped, right? Fukushima, huh? You remember that stuff? Huh? Okay. This is probably why they changed it to Department of Defense. Now they telling you we're about to do that shit again. Say something to us. We're gonna hit you with the A-bomb.
So this War Department, Mr. President, just like America, is back. Thank you for your leadership and your clarity. We're going to set the tone for this country. America first, peace through strength, brought to you by the War Department.
We creating soldiers.
Very well
That's what he
stated.
just
It really
said.
has to do with winning.
It's really got to do
We
with
should
winning.
win.
I just want to play this part back again.
Recognize that this name
Listen
change
to what
is
he
not just
says.
about renaming, it's about restoring. Words matter. It's restoring, as you've guided us to, Mr. President, restoring the warrior ethos, restoring victory and clarity as an end state, restoring intentionality to the use of force. So, at your direction, Mr. President, the War Department is going to fight decisively, not endless conflicts. It's going to fight to win, not to lose. We're going to go on offense, not just on defense. Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct. We're going to raise up warriors, not just defenders. So this War Department, Mr. President, just like America, is back. Thank you for your leadership and your clarity. We're going to set the tone for this country. America first, peace through strength, brought to you by the War Department. We're back.
All right, thank you very much. Very well stated, and really it has to do with winning. We should have won every war. We could have won every war, but we really chose to be very politically correct or wokey, and we just fight forever. And then we, win, we wouldn't lose really. We just fight to sort of tie. We never wanted to win wars that every one of them we would have won easily with just a couple of little changes or a couple of little edicts. I was told that ISIS would take 5 years to win, and Dan Kane, when I told him how long would it take, he said, I think about 4 weeks, sir. I said, what do you mean 4 weeks? I was told 5 years by the people in Washington. You know who they were, 5 years. I said, you can't do it in 4 weeks. I actually flew to Iraq to meet with him, and I met him at a big air base, and remember that famous day, right? It turned out to be
Yeah, that
famous day,
changes
because
based
you're now
off of the
head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which is the biggest deal. And he is, because he did things that everybody said he couldn't do. So they said it was going to be 5 years, and he knocked them out in about 4 weeks total, 100%.
basically what he's saying
ISIS was
is
gone.
we can push the button.
Pretty amazing.
We don't have to play
So we
nice
never
no
fought to
more
win, and now
because we can push the
we
button.
have to fight it all. We solved 7 wars. We have the one that I thought was going to be probably one of the easier ones, and that's with President Putin and Ukraine. And that. turned out
they
to be
fighting with
a lot
drones
more
anyway.
difficult, But the 7 done. They were supposed
I
to.
want y'all to really think about this. It's a lot of drones that's being used. So really, they don't need people. All you gotta do is, have the control the airspace or enough satellites to reach. With Elon Musk, and you think about it. This is why I say streamers and streaming is important, because you think about it. Elon Musk has that whole stream thing. That's you can stream on boats now. You can stream pretty much anywhere, right? So with that said, you can have a backpack on and have a drone bomb that can reach areas or reach the distance of wherever you need, right? So there's going to be a lot of, drone fighting, so on and so forth. It ain't going to be the fight that you think. Yes, civilians might lose lives, buildings might go, whatever the case may be, psychological warfare. These things is what they're saying. Maximum lethality means there's nothing off the table, right? So when you find the ability to manipulate the weather, when you find the ability to manipulate the mind, right? You turn this into weapons, right? You see that one movie that they got out. What's that movie called? Weapons? Ain't that movie called Weapons right now? Huh? Ain't you watching people crash out like on some MK Ultra shit? The normal people gotta be looking at this shit saying like, what the fuck? That was a complete crash out over a burger. Like, yo, dude just jumped the counter over some fries and went crazy. Like, nah, something ain't right. Y'all can't tell me y'all don't see the shit. Y'all can't tell me y'all don't see the shit. These crash outs, these shits that's happening in certain areas, you know, this is shaping the world. This is changing the view of the world. That McDonald's situation, that created a wave of situations happening. You know what I'm saying? You ain't see it after that McDonald's rise in Phoenix situation. All of a sudden, this McDonald's manager pew pew, that McDonald's manager fight, this Wendy's pew pew, you didn't see the shit how they use social media to infiltrate fear. We already fearful. People are already fearful. But soon as they showcase that shit, soon as her page went crazy, right? Soon as her page went crazy, everybody started Googling it. Athena, Rise Fees. Every manager, McDonald's manager, man, I'm not about to end up like that. Don't none of y'all try that shit. TikTok took it and took it to the next level. YouTube took it to the next level. Y'all don't remember what took place. Why we keep acting like we don't remember what happens with social media? How it turns everything and amplifies it, and then the next thing we know, that energy is creating a outburst in people because we're all connected. A lot of y'all might not get what I'm saying, but let me explain, right? Once we build up a certain amount of tension or negative energy in this sphere, right, it has to find an outlet. And that's why the Bible tells you that the devil will always appear to you in the form of man. Because the devil is an energy, and that energy surface over mankind. And whenever it finds vessels that's willing to give up, that's when it tempts that vessel in order to do some shit. And then the next thing you know, it's saying, yo, it's telling one of the demons, hey, we got one. One of them willing to let you use their vessel to do some shit. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Right now, we're in that time where you have to be cautious of your own vessel. Something to jump inside of you, take over you, and take your ass for a ride. They know this exists. They know these energies exist. These entities exist. They know that. You didn't see the Vatican change everything up 2 years ago? The Vatican said, if you start seeing entities or anything of this nature, contact them first on some of the conjuring shit. They said some things might appear to you in the form and say that they're God, but you got to check with us first. What type of shit is that? I ain't know what the fuck was going on when the Vatican said that 2 years ago. Y'all don't remember that shit, 2023? I remember. Y'all act like y'all don't remember. Y'all remember when that dude bit the dude in LA, bit his head open and shit at the bus stop. 23, the summer of 23. Y'all don't remember that shit. All right. Okay. Cool. Let's just act like we don't remember.
Much more difficult to solve. I solved every one of them, and we're going to get the other one done too. But it turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I thought, and it'll get done or they'll be held to pay. But because they're losing 6 to 7, it used to be 5. I used to tell you 5. Now it's almost 7. I guess 7,000 people last week. 7,813 people, young soldiers.
Okay. He said putting Trump and God in the same sentence is blasphemous. Okay. Okay. Let's back this up one. Okay.
Time, Mike. Thank you.
Now we gotta go back to the
system.
speech.
I hope everybody hears this perfectly. But a lot of people are wondering why you're here tonight, and I'll tell you very simple. James Langford to come up and say grace, and he's very good at it. He's a religious guy, and we love him, and he's done a fantastic job as senator.
Because he didn't say grace. He didn't come up and say grace. He came up and prayed, right? Everybody bowed their head.
Father, thank you for allowing us to be here and the privilege we get to be able to serve this nation. in all the work and all the long hours.
What
and all
father
the
you
time,
think he talking about?
we just want to say thank you again
Father
for trusting us
God,
for this task. And I ask for wisdom for
in the
all of
name
us
of your son,
to be able to
Jesus.
lead well by example and by task. Father, we pray for the President of the United States.
Mm.
We pray that you would overwhelm him with the insight and wisdom he needs for each day. The challenges around the world are on his shoulders.
Mm.
But we are grateful that the government is on yours, and you are the one who sustains us.
Mm.
So we pray for President Trump, for his family, pray for the Vice President, pray that you continue to be able to instill in them the joy of the task so that they'd be able to fulfill things well. Pray for our members of the military and intelligence community and law enforcement, so many first responders, that they are in harm's way tonight as we are in safety. So we pray that you would protect them and their families. God, thanks for this food and for the privilege to be able to be here together with each other. In the name of Jesus, I ask tonight. Amen.
Mm.
Beautiful. Appreciate
That boy just put a prayer over Trump.
That was very nice.
Now listen, I don't know about y'all, but Trump went and told Christians, you know, this will be the last time you need to vote, so on and so forth, you know, and he's not even a Christian. He tells them to their face, like, I don't believe in your religion, or, you know, I don't follow your religion or whatever. But so this is ironic. Like, is Trump becoming spiritual? Not spiritual in a sense, or is he using this as a method? Christianity is strong, people. Christianity is strong. Right? It's called coercions of the heart. Right? This is what this is called, coercions of the heart. I applaud everybody to go read, you know, The Art of Seduction. This is part of the art of seduction. Right here. Right? He knows that everyone is going through a, you know, some sort of Christ-like consciousness, right? So he's playing on the fact that people are going into or coming out of, or however you want to say it, right? He's playing on people's belief system. Because him himself don't believe in that system. So why would you have somebody come prey on you in a system that you don't follow or believe in? Is that not weird? That's blasphemous within itself. That's like being the Antichrist. That's like a false Christ. That's like a false prophet. Right to your face. He's being false. He's going to go sit down with the Muslims and take his Shahada next week. He pulling a Jaguar right on us.
So, getting back to why you got invited. So, I get a call from the speaker, and it'd say, sir, we have 16 hard no's. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and we have one of many bills, because this happened many times, and it tended to be the same 16, 18, 19 people.
He's speaking to the
4 o'clock, 5
lawmakers.
o'clock in the morning.
He's
I called.
speaking to the
He said, Jim, how you
lawmakers.
doing, Jim? Everything okay? Yes, sir. It's 5 o'clock in the
Look how fast things is happening. First, space station, right? Second, you know, not martial law, but, you know, National Guards in the street, so on and so forth, right? Now, we got to put them back to work. Da-da-da-da. These are steps. These are steps that you take. I don't know if y'all read martial law or the steps that you take to martial law before you get to certain points. I don't know if you guys read anything. I can't really say what the next person looks into or study, but if you ask me, like the setup is obvious, you know what I mean? Like the setup is fucking obvious. You see it, you know what I mean? Sitting down, you greasing yourself up with all these other foreign countries. But here in America, we're nothing more than, you know, whatever the fuck you want to call us, you know, and then it's like, oh, we're going to get them out the streets, so on and so forth. There's different ways of helping people in the streets. We could start programs, you know, to get people off the streets. There's a lot of abandoned buildings we can rebuild, restructure. There's a lot of apartment buildings complex that's tore down, you know, we can rebuild them, restructure them, so on and so forth, right? There's a lot of work that can be put back into America, but you got to find the Americans that want to do it. You know, is to sit there and try to put this up like this. We damn near on the verge of a civil war, and y'all don't even see it. Everybody is so indifferent with each other. We gotta unite what we was called the United States. If we're gonna put something back together, why ain't we putting that back together? Why are we not putting United States back together? We are the divided states right now. Why are we not putting united back into that shit? Because we not united. But we'll change the Department of Defense to Department of War, but we can't, you know, if words matter, then why are we not the United States? Fuck it. Call it drumline if you want. One band, one sound. If we're going to lead by example, let's be united in all this, you know, mixing pot of indifferences. I love everybody. Fuck it. Everybody that's here. Because you here. You here. I don't care how you got here. You here. How long do you have to be? How long do your ancestors have to bleed or you know, for this country or, you know, continent before you can say you indigenous to it? What is the timeline on that? You know what I'm saying? How long we got to fuck around and find out before we can say we all indigenous to this land? Ooh, I can't wait till I can't wait till the aliens get here in November. I can't wait. I bet you all you motherfuckers gonna want to be Earthlings then. Watch. I can't wait. You know, I'm an Earthling. Yeah, I bet. Watch. I bet y'all gonna want to be Earthlings then. Watch. I'm an Earthling. Watch. I guarantee it. As soon as they motherfucking pull up on us. Huh? As soon as they pull up on us, some of y'all gonna be grabbing rocks and shit. Y'all already throwing rocks at tanks. I want to see y'all throw a rock at one of them spacecrafts that's gonna come down here. If y'all think we got drone technology, that's what they coming back down here for right now, because they already warned us and told us not to fuck with weapons of mass destruction such as nuclear weapons, and we still fucking dabbling in shit. So they know what the fuck about to happen. If you don't think they know the future of this planet, every time mankind plans some fucked up shit, they intervene. Every time. And they show it to you in books and movies and so on and so forth. So they know that these higher ups are itching, because they're playing with the you know, organs of young people in order to keep their life going. They putting, you know, younger organs in their body and shit so they can live 150 years, because it's not the body that's actually shutting down, it's the organs. We're overworking our organs. Take our digestive system, for example. You're overworking your digestive system by eating 3 meals a day. You're not supposed to eat 3 meals a day. And you're not supposed to eat before you go to sleep, because when you go to sleep, your digestive system does a reverse thing where it actually cleans out the body and pushes out mucus and stuff. So you're not supposed to eat before you go to sleep. But they got you overworking your body, which is overworking your organs, which is causing organ failures and shit like that. And that's why they're replacing their organs with younger organs to extend their life. But y'all don't want to talk about the baby farms and the organs and shit like that. Y'all want to keep on ignoring it. Gotta go to work, gotta go to work. Why? Because we're creatures of habit, and someone else created your habits. And now you don't even know the righteous way of living or doing or none of that shit. Come on, y'all. I mean,
I wonder how you voted for us. Well, what do you think, sir? Tell me.
they about to put out, they probably found a way to put their consciousness in fucking technology already. That's why they selling us AI. They probably already know how to put their consciousness in that shit.
And they made life very difficult, but we got them there. Because we had a period where we had a majority of one. Is that right, Mike? One. We were one heart attack away from losing the House. Think of that. And nobody could have done that but that man right there. and I think I helped a little bit. But Mike, unbelievable. And we passed legislation, I call it the great, big, beautiful bill. I add the word great because it gives the greatest tax cuts in the history of our country. When you think no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime.
They
These
about
are
to give,
working-class
they got to give
things.
AI
So we
rights.
get a deduction if you buy a car, you borrow
Melania
money,
Trump-
we deduct the interest, Jason,
Hold on.
which is so.
Melania Trump said, treat AI like your children. Y'all ain't hear her say that when she held that education thing? They said they're giving incentive programs for anybody using AI. That means all schools that use AI technology in order to teach the kids, they can get money, grants, or something like that. That's what that means. I mean, if you incorporate AI into your, learning, whatever education you can get. So all you have to do is move to a digital or a form of
Incredible,
learning, from the computer or whatever the case may be, implement technology or AI into your schooling learning. So that's the incentive. That's an incentive program for us to, blend with AI. It's only a matter of time before, nanobite technology, so on and so forth, right? What are you talking about? They literally broke up the COVID of who was going to get. Y'all don't remember the scandal behind the COVID? Black people get this one. White people get that one. Y'all don't remember that shit? Y'all don't remember? It was like they was dividing and selling us up. Anybody who got this vaccine or this booster shot, you might have fucking nanobite technology that's owned by Zuckerberg or some shit like that. You might be owned by one of these billionaires. You don't even know it. What is you talking about? Your ass might be property of because of that shit that's inside. You don't know. Shit. I don't know what the fuck you signed up for or took. Nanobite technology inside the vessel. Shut up.
Ever heard of that?
That shit is for
Middle class,
computers
nobody
and other
gets
shit.
like that. The bill is unbelievable. In fact,
That is
we
not
really
for my
don't need any other
biological
votes
structure.
because we have everything in that. That's why it's a great, big, beautiful bill. And Scott Bessent is here, has done a fantastic job. And he's
Tricked you.
one of the people, one of the writers of it. Gave plenty of good ideas. And I think Howard is here someplace. Where's Howard Lutnick? Howard, thank you very much. I call them the Bobbsey twins. They're the most different human beings I've ever met. They're both great.
I
but
just
one is
studied a
little
lot
bit
of shit.
different
That's
than the
why I
other,
stay
like
out the
about
way.
200
Because I
yards.
just study shit.
And
Like,
they're
you know
fantastic
what?
and they get along great.
All
But
of
we
this shit
the
is fucking
administration has been
trickery.
Amazing. And what we've done has not been done. A lot of people, even the people that are not necessarily
That's why I say the world
lovers
is
of
one big
President
stage.
Trump, and some of them are right there in the fake news. But they said that nobody's
He
done
talking
what we've
shit
done
about him right in
7
front of them.
months, a little more than 7 months. When you think of it, we stopped 7 wars. And the war that I thought was going to be the easiest is probably the most difficult. That's the Ukraine and Russia. I thought that would be easier, the relationship with President Putin, all of that. It didn't matter. It's ended up being probably the most difficult. But we stopped wars. One was going on for 31 years.
Look, if he's saying that right now, September 5th, then that means that they didn't come up with some type of agreement at the what you call 'em? At the, not the bilateral. That means that bilateral didn't go the way that Trump thought it was going to go, and they're not going to set up a trilateral. And now they have to basically give us a bunch of, song and dance to distract us from him saying that, they were going to be able to come to some type of, peace agreement with that whole situation. And that's why he's telling you right now, it's difficult, because Putin wants that land and he's not giving up them kids because they probably already are using the organs of them fucking kids, 20,000 kids. And that's why this whole thing can never really be spoke about the way that it's supposed to be spoke about, because guess what? I bet you them kids ain't get back yet. I bet you they released the prisoners of war, but I bet you they didn't say nothing. Nobody said nothing about those 20,000 kids getting released back. I ain't saying that. And now you see him in conversation with the Chinese president talking about using kids' organs to extend life to 150 years. Ironically, you snatch up 20,000 Ukrainian kids, and now you're over here talking about extending life with organs. Come on. Put fucking 2 and 2 together. This is what they're trading. People, technology, money. Your life ain't shit. Let's be real. I ain't shit. Not according to them. We're all pawns in this big pot. Anybody is sublimate to anything, you know? Take you out, you know what I mean? Distract you with your finances, make you look crazy. All of that shit. They opening up the door to play all types of psychological games. That's why they tell you, like, Christ prepared us for this time. He told us to have discernment in this time. The Bible, you go back and read the Bible, we're living in biblical time right now. You know, this is where we have these different generations. Say, do not be fooled by signs of their nations, right? It tells you about Jonas and the wells and so on and so forth. It tells you that there's a prostitute that sit by the water in the book of Revelations. It tells you who that prostitute is. It tells you Mystery Babylon. It tells you that the waters are the people, the multitude, the nations, the languages. Look how we are divided within the multitude, the people, the languages. You know? So when you're looking at this and you're trying to understand exactly what's going on, someone already prepared us for this time. Someone already prepared us for this time in our mental. They told us not to be scared in this time.
They said it was unstoppable. I got it done in about 2 hours. Another one, 35 years, and another one, 37 years. And we got them all done, but we got 7 of them done. We ended up stopping the potential nuclear disaster in Iran with, I think, one of the greatest military trips ever taken. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We flew the B-2 bomber. They flew for 36 hours. Not a single mishap, not a single problem. And those pilots were great. I invited them to the Oval Office a month ago, and they came in handsome. They looked just like Tom Cruise. They looked just like, I tell you, they were great. They were, every one of them, and they were looking forward to that mission.
And everybody, well, we heard this one. We listened to this one earlier, but everybody is ignoring one big fact, right? Everybody keeps ignoring one big fact, right? Didn't Christ say there will be one who comes after him? Didn't Christ say that? Do not be afraid in this time for, just follow he with the fishbowl on his head or something up like that. Do not be afraid of this new house. Didn't he say that? Right? Who's to say that this 3-eye atlas is not the, one that comes after him? All the signs are in the sky anyway, as above, so below. Right? Now we got this 3-eye atlas coming in the physical. Maybe collectively we're pulling this, 3-eye atlas here. Maybe that's why they don't want us to have, intelligence, or, maybe that's why they're so afraid of our, intellectual abilities, or whatever the case may be. Maybe we're collectively pulling this rock to us. Or maybe it's about to bring us a new way of life. Is it something to be afraid of? Or are we conjuring it ourselves? I actually have a petition for human rights. So you can actually go to my link tree and sign my petition if you want to help, because we do need the right to think, I seen a lot of rights in our Constitution, but I didn't see the right to think. So, I would like, you know, the ability to, you know, move my mind around how I want to move my mind around. I mean, it's not like I'm harming anybody else inside my mind. So if I want to explore different dimensions of my mind, I should be allowed to explore different dimensions of my mind. So I've seen a lot of rights, and I think one of the rights that is missing is, you know, freedom of thought, right? I mean, you got the freedom of speech, but then you don't have the freedom to think how you want to think in order to speak as free as you want, right? Because every time you go to say something, someone deems it blasphemous. How do you have the freedom of speech if something can be deemed blasphemous? Those two things don't go together. I'm kind of confused in this world that we live in. I guess that's what I'm saying. A lot of shit that y'all do don't make sense down here, but y'all keep doing it, right? We keep doing it. If I have the freedom of speech, how can you deem something to be blasphemous if I speak on it? That doesn't go together. That's because all caps is for my for me to get the attention, or for my mods to get my attention. That's just something that, you know, is created so that way, oh, if I see all caps, then I know it's one of the mods trying to tell me something. They could be telling me like my sound is off. They could be telling me that nobody can hear me. They could be telling me to stop, you know, giving, you know, negative energy my attention. The mods could be trying to get my attention, you know, about one of y'all in the comment section, so on and so forth, right? So that's out of respect for the mods, I ask you not to all caps. But you still have the freedom to say what you want to say, right? All caps is just an operation for me to, oh, okay, I see it now. Because sometimes the chat be moving fast, and sometimes you can't catch what your mods are trying to say to you. But when they all caps, you can catch an all caps. So it's like, oh, okay, that was one of the mods trying to say something. No, Rob, we're over on TikTok.
Thank you very much.
No, Rob, we're over on TikTok where we have a lot of people over there. If you want to look at the TikTok stream, let me show you the camera real quick. You see that, Rob? You see? 120 people over there, and the number is changing. Right, Rob? You see that? So yeah, so before you try to, oh, you got this many people, you only got 3 people in here. Well, I promise you, man, y'all will try to find a way to just say anything about anything. No, that's on YouTube. YouTube, we have that many people over on YouTube. We're on TikTok and YouTube. Ralph_dawise on both of them.
Start by signing
It's okay, Rob. It's not your
very
fault.
important bills. And Will, would you discuss them, please?
Yes, sir. This is HR 2808. This is the
Well, you should have read the room then, Rob. You should have read the room.
Congressman here was the lead sponsor, so I think maybe he...
Who comes into a space and just start firing off shit?
Well, it's difficult for Americans to buy a home, particularly after the last 4 years, sir. But with the president's signature today, we're going to make it easy for people to buy a home without getting hassled. For years, their private personal information has been bought and sold in the open market, resulting in them getting innumerable phone calls and text messages. But with your signature today, we're going to put an end to that so that when Americans try to realize
I'm talking in it.
they're able to do so
Okay,
without
Rob.
being harassed.
Good job. Good. It's a great honor, John.
I ain't arguing. I don't argue. I'm talking in it. You know, it's I jump in head first.
Okay. There
All right, we got to get
And
to this guy
just
talking.
a couple of little changes.
Home and abroad.
No, not this one.
Well, you know, we
Mr. President, just like America established the War Department, and
decided to go woke and we changed the name to Department of Defense. So we're going Department of War.
Department of
And,
War.
I'd like to ask our
Y'all don't know how
Secretary
big
of
this
War,
change is right here.
to say a
Department
few
of
words.
War.
Pete Hickson. I think it's a much more appropriate name, especially
Oh,
in
you wanna
light
argue?
of where the world
You ain't even
is
got a
right now.
voice, bro. Come up in
We
a
have the
box at
strongest
least. You
military
can't
in the
argue
world.
with
We have
somebody in
greatest
the comment
equipment in the
section.
world. We have the greatest manufacturers.
Wasting my damn
of
energy,
equipment by
wasting my
far.
throat chakra.
There's
Hell
nobody
no.
to even compete, and you see that with this and so many other things. The Patriots are the best. Every element of the military, we make the best by far. So Pete, I'd like to ask you and maybe Dan Raisingame to say a few words, please.
Mr. President, thank you. After winning a war for independence in 1789, George Washington established the War Department, and Henry Knox was his first Secretary of War. And this country won every major war after that, to include World War I and World War II. Total victory, Mr. President, as you said. Then 150 years after that, we changed the name after World War II from the Department of War to the Department of Defense in 1947. And as you pointed out, Mr. President, we haven't won a major war since, and that's not to disparage our warfighters, whether it's the Korean War, the Vietnam War, or our generation of Iraq and Afghanistan. That's to recognize that this name change is not just about renaming, it's about restoring. Words matter. It's restoring, as you've guided us to, Mr. President, restoring the warrior ethos, restoring victory and clarity as an end state, restoring intentionality to the use of force. So at your direction, Mr. President, the War Department is going to fight decisively, not endless conflicts. It's going to fight to win, not to lose. We're going to go on offense, not just on defense. Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct. We're going to raise up warriors, not just defenders. So this War Department, Mr. President, just like America, is back. Thank you for your leadership and your clarity. We're going to set the tone for this country. America first, peace through strength, brought to you by the War Department. We're back.
Thank you very much. Very well stated, and it really has to do with winning. We should have won every war. We could have won every war, but we really chose to be very politically correct or wokey, and we just fight forever. And then we'd, win, lose. We wouldn't lose, really. We just fight to sort of tie. We never wanted to win. Wars that every one of them we would have won easily with just a couple of little changes or a couple of little edicts. I was told that ISIS would take 5 years to win. And Dan Kane, when I told him how long would it take, he said, I think about 4 weeks, sir. I said, what do you mean 4 weeks? I was told 5 years by the people in Washington. You know who they were, 5 years. I said, you can't do it in 4 weeks. I actually flew to Iraq to meet with him, and I met him at a big air base. And remember that famous day? Well, it turned out to be a famous day for our country because you're now the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which is the biggest deal. And he is, because he did things that everybody said couldn't do. So they said it was going to be 5 years, and he knocked them out in about 4 weeks total, 100%. We took over, and ISIS was gone, and pretty amazing. But we never fought to win, and now if we have to fight at all, we solved 7 wars. We have the one that I thought was going to be probably one of the easier ones, and that's with President Putin and Ukraine. And that turned out to be one that's a little bit more difficult, but the 7 are done. They were supposed to be much more difficult to solve. I solved every one of them, and we're going to get the other one done too. But it turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. And it'll get done, or they'll be held to pay. But because they're losing 6 to 7, it used to be 5. I used to tell you 5. Now it's almost 7. I guess 7,000 people last week. 7,813 people, young soldiers, died. Russian and Ukrainian, not American soldiers. But it's a shame. It's just, they're human lives, and I want to see it stop. But General Kane's done a fantastic job. And again, defeated ISIS, which they said would take a long time. And it didn't take a long time at all, and did other things that people said really couldn't happen. We have the greatest equipment in the world. We have the greatest soldiers in the world. Dan, say a few words, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. It's a true honor for me today to represent the incredible men and women of America's Joint Force. Today and every day, the 2.8 million service men and women stand ready to fulfill our sacred duty to protect America at home and abroad. As the President said, America's military is the single most powerful fighting force in the world. The mission you and the Secretary have given us is clear and unambiguous to deliver peace through overwhelming strength. And I remind everyone that the U.S. military can reach any adversary at the time and place of our choosing. Service to this nation is an incredible gift, and we're grateful and honored every day to do so. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you, and it's an honor to sign this, and we will do that
Is
right
that
now.
not a threat, though? Is that not like a threat to like the other nations? Like, is that not a threat to everybody? Like, yo, listen. They say, like, listen, we changing this shit to the Department of War. And I just want to let y'all know we have the ability to AT&T any of y'all whenever we want to. You say, what do you mean by AT&T? Reach out and touch, Bell Atlantic Collect, only 10 cents. Huh? Huh? Oh, look, the president just said nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Didn't you hear that when they said that shit? When he said that, I heard nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Huh? I'm gonna say now, I just want to let y'all know that we have the ability to touch any adversary anywhere at any time of our choosing. Damn! That sounds like the Outer Limits theme. Do not attempt to adjust your TV. We can expand your image with 1,000 pixels or make it crystal clear. Like, what the fuck? Please stand by. Like, yo, this motherfucker hit us with some difficult shit. Just want to let you know, we can fuck your shit up
I think that's a big one.
anytime we want.
That's a big one.
It's a big one, Mr. President.
Do you have any questions on this subject? We're going to be discussing the G20 in a couple of minutes, but yes, please. No, right there.
What gave you the idea for this rebranding? Question for you and the newly minted Secretary of War. What message does this send to our enemies, to our allies, to the American people? And again, what gave you the idea for this rebrand at this moment?
I think it sends a message of victory. I think it sends really a message of strength. We're very strong. We're much stronger than anyone would really understand. And again, you know, having the great equipment, we have just so much better. You look at all of this
airspace that we have,
submarines,
this race
as
for
an example.
space.
We're 20 years ahead of anyone else. Nobody even compares. And I let a lot of this happen in my first term. You know, we totally rebuilt our military. Then, of course, you had that catastrophe in Afghanistan, where they gave up a lot of the equipment, but a relatively small amount, but a lot. It was a lot in Afghanistan. I think it was the most, General, I'd say it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country, the way that happened, the way they went to the wrong airport. They should have gone to Bagram, not the local little airport with no security, with tight quarters, etc. You know what happened. I think it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, frankly. That was under the Biden administration. It was terrible. And we were going to be leaving, but we were leaving with strength and dignity. We were going to keep Bagram because Bagram's 1 hour away from where China makes its.
Y'all get that like button up. We almost at 100 likes. Let's go.
Beautiful place built many years ago from.
Shout out to the 79 people that like the page. We're almost there.
Couldn't build it. The longest runways, the most powerful runways in terms of load capacity, and we just walked away from it. So stupid, and they were fools. The people were fools. No, we have the strongest military, and I think that indicates we have the strongest military. And you know, we had it, and we won World War I, we won World War II, we won everything before, and as I said, we won everything in between. And we were very strong, but we never fought to win. We just didn't fight to win. We didn't lose anything, but we didn't fight to win. We could have won every one of those wars quickly, but they went a route that I think was probably politically correct, but not correct for our nation. So I think the Department of War sends a signal. Yeah, please.
Mr. You alluded to this a little while ago. You said that this rename is a good reflection of where the world is at.
Hey, we live on TikTok right now. If you want to come up on the page over there, if anybody want to come up on the page on TikTok just to get their account some space. Because you just got to go live on TikTok and go on panels
and our strength. Those are the two reasons.
And for the people who don't have that, you can join the Discord, and I'll bring you up on Discord.
So if we
Trump polls at 38%.
Those were wars that could not be settled, and I settled all of them, and we'll get the other one settled also. That'll get settled. But without the strength, we wouldn't have settled any of them. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, is it your expectation that Congress will codify this name change in the law?
He's so full of BS. What happened to the Ukraine?
I'm not sure they have to. We're signing.
Right, that's what we need today. That's what we need to go and look back at, the Ukraine situation. There's 20,000 kids that still, they didn't say anything about those 20,000 kids. When Juzinski said that, we want the 20,000 kids released back, so on and so forth, right? They kind of like pushed that under the carpet, pushed that under the rug, right? And to hear, Putin talk to, China president and say, with this whole organ donating thing, we might have a way to extend life to, 150, from 70 to 150, because life expectancy is at 70 now. It's as low as it's been, right? And this goes back to what scientists been saying. They've been trying to figure out why mankind life expectancy has been shrinking, right? Since the biblical days, living 160, 300 something years to now, the expectancy of mankind has shrunk down to 70 years. Where at one point we was at 120, right? Now we at 70 years. So now Putin saying with the things that they are doing and undiscovering with the organ donating shit, right? He found a way to extend life to 150 years, right? So you're seeing, and because social media and the internet is undefeated, they're telling you that they're playing gods, right? They're trying to find different ways to escape. Some of them are looking to cultivate Mars. Some of them are looking to put consciousness into AI. And then some of them are looking to, use organs to, do organ transfer, right? They telling you what the world consists of. We still want to believe this 90% that we see instead of, the 10% that we see instead of the 90% that we don't see. 90% of this world we don't see. 10% is the bullshit that you see that's the world stage.
But we're going to find out. Let me see. If they do, we're going with it, and we're going with it very strongly. There's a question as to whether or not they have to, but we'll put it before Congress.
Do you know how much this rebrand will actually cost? And are there any concerns about, the Pentagon's mission of actually cutting back on spending?
Yeah, but not a lot. We know how to rebrand without having to go crazy. We don't have to recarve a mountain or anything. We're going to be doing it not in the most expensive. We're going to start changing the stationery as it comes due and lots of things like that. We're not going to be doing things like have been done in the past when they changed the name of forts that shouldn't have been changed. Those names of the forts should not have been changed, at least for the most part. And as you know, many of them have been changed back already. At the request of the communities, every one of those communities said, we want our name back, like Fort Bragg as an example. The people in that community wanted that name back. They refused to call it anything else but Fort Bragg. So we're not going to be spending very much money on that. Yes,
sir. When you spoke with the Europeans and Zelensky earlier this week, did you preview this for them, and did you say what security guarantees they might be involved in?
This is nothing to do with anybody but the United States of America, the people of America. This is who I talk to about changing a name. It's a very important change because it's an attitude, and we know how to win. We've been winning, and we're going to win like you've never seen. When you see factories start to open up that are being built,
new attitude.
See things happen in this country that nobody expects. We have over $17 trillion in investment coming into the country. We never did anything even remotely close to that. No other country has either, by the way. So you're going to see things that are pretty amazing. But
$17 trillion in the next 8 months. I got to see this. I gotta hold. We gotta hold him to this. 17. Listen to what he said. $17 trillion $17 trillion. I want to see this shit.
Look, we want to save a lot of lives, so we'll do something with that. I think people expect that. We'll help them. Europe will be first in by far, and they want to be first, and they want to see it end. Europe wants to see it end, and it'll end. It'll end all of a sudden. It's going to come together. You watch. Yeah. Did you want something right? Yeah, behind you, please. Yes.
Yes, sir. Bold, decisive, offensive action to protect American values. Strikes in Iran, strikes this past Tuesday on the positively ID'd Trinidad narco terrorists. Is that going to be a critical function of the Department of War?
It depends on the individual instance, you know. We don't want drugs coming in from Venezuela or anybody else or any place else, and we'll be tough on that. And we don't want human trafficking. We don't want to see people coming in where they open their prisons from all over the world and they dump their prisoners into our country, which is what they did in the Biden administration, where they took insane asylums and places that held people that were seriously mentally ill, mentally incompetent, mentally dangerous, and they dumped those people into our country, and we're trying to get them out now. What they've done, what the Democrats and Biden have done to this country will go down.
The world is trading without us.
What they have done to our country, and especially that, you know, they created the worst inflation we've ever had. That's nothing compared to what they did with the people in our country right now. And we're getting them out, and it's not easy when you have the liberal judges destroying our country, but we've won them all. We've won it all, ultimately won it all. Hard process. It should be easier. We know who it is. We know exactly who we're looking for. We had 11,000 murderers dropped into our country. We've gotten a lot of them out. Or in some cases, they're so dangerous, we're afraid to get them out because they'd come back in. But for the last 120 days, 0 people came in. Can you imagine? This is me speaking, but these are figures developed by, they say, a pretty liberal group of people. They admit that 0 people came into our country. Think of that. A year ago, it was millions of people were coming in. Millions. They were coming in. You could look at them and you could say, big trouble. And that's what we have in our country. But we're getting them out, and despite that, we're doing really well.
Really
yeah,
well.
Please, Brian? Yeah. Well, the recruitment's the most exciting thing. So when I was campaigning for the office, numbers were coming out that the recruitment numbers, generally, you could speak to it better than anybody, the recruitment into the military, all branches of the military, and police and firemen and everything else. Anything having to do with like a public service, the numbers were horrible, record-setting bad. And now they're record-setting good. We're setting every record every month for recruitment. We're packed in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. My beautiful I love Space Command. I see Space Command, but Space Force has been, we've got a waiting list of people wanting to go in. A year ago, especially a year and a half ago, you know, when I took the lead in the polls, which was very early, it really helped with the recruiting. And when I won from November 5th on, it's been amazing. And over the last 4 or 5 months, we're just packed. It was very hard to get police officers. Now the departments are loaded up. Everyone wants to be a policeman or a woman. So it's been a great thing. Jennifer, do you want to talk about that?
Anybody else want to mention that stuff?
It's an incredible gift that we give. The reward on that gift pays back exponentially year over year. And I think the young people of America are seeing the importance of service, and whether it's in any of our armed services or in local police, fire, and rescue, service is an important thing that I personally encourage, and I know everyone else in government service sees that same reward.
And Pete, on recruitment?
I was down at Fort Benning, the newly properly renamed Fort Benning, yesterday, watching Army basic training, and they're so full they can't barely handle the throughput. It is truly historic across all the services, as you said. It's been a surge into the, I was going to say the Defense Department, but I would say the War Department. And that you might almost call it a vibe shift, an attitude shift, a feeling that the country is back, that service is back. And there were military families last year, Mr. President, that said, I don't know if I can recommend, I mean, I wrote a book on this. I don't know if I can recommend service to my son or daughter, given what's been done to our military. You heard it over and over and over again. And I hear from those same military families right now, sir, and they're saying, I recommend to my kids that they go into this department, this Pentagon, under this commander-in-chief, who they know you'll have their back and they want to serve. So it is historic, and it's the biggest reflection of how motivated Americans are by your leadership, sir.
You know, really, it's nothing more than spirit, love for the country. I guess the esprit de corps, as they say, you have more of that than we've had maybe ever, frankly. But to see a turn over a period of less than a year, I would say, but to see a turn, nobody wanted to go into the military. Now everybody wants to go into the military. Jennifer, you want to?
Yeah, there's some new reporting on North Korea and this Navy SEAL incident in 2019. Can you say if the administration has engaged with North Korea on that incident since it happened recently?
No.
And then can you share some records?
I don't know anything about it, no. I'd have to, I could look, but I know nothing about it.
Can you confirm that it happened?
I don't know anything about it. I'm hearing it now for the first time.
Okay, great. And then on the Hyundai incident in Georgia with the arrest of some workers, construction workers at the plant, have you heard any feedback from Hyundai?
I just heard about that a little while before the news conference, and I would say that they were illegal aliens, and ICE was just doing its job. But I know nothing about the instance. It happened a little while ago. Okay.
There has been some pushback on that, though, from South Korea already, and of course, they pledged to invest $150 billion in the U.S. They were just here, last week. Are you concerned?
Well, and they have the right to sell cars and things in our country. It's not like a one-sided deal.
Are you concerned at all about, your immigration agenda potentially clashing with these economic goals?
Well, we want to get along with other countries, and we want to have a great, stable workforce. And we had, as I understand it, a lot of illegal aliens, some not the best of people, but we had a lot of illegal aliens working there. So, look, they're doing their job. That's what they have to do. These are people that came through with Biden. They came through illegally. They came into our country, so we have to do our job.
Mr. President, the now Department of War has been involved in the crime cleanup in D.C. You've tasked Congress with proposing and passing a crime bill. What are some things that you would really like to see codified in that crime bill?
Well, I think one of the things is the cashless bail. It's killing it. When that came out, the first time, that's when you saw the real big crime start to happen. Cashless bail, what a disaster that is. You murder somebody, you don't have to put up bail. And you go out in the street and you murder somebody else. That's what's happened. It happens so often. And that's one of the things. And other of the things you're reading about, it's just standard, but just a certain toughness. I have to say, one of the elements of fascination for people over the last period of time has been what's happened to DC. So we've gone from one of the most dangerous cities in our country to what they call a safe city. It's a totally safe city. In fact, I set up dinner in Washington, D.C. next week. I wouldn't have done that, to be honest. I would have had an obligation not to do it before I came into office, or even at the very beginning when things were so corrupt and so dangerous out on the streets. So Washington, D.C. has had virtually no crime. We even have a mayor that's admitting to it, and she's a, liberal Democrat, in all fairness. She's a person that hasn't gotten exactly along with Republicans over the years. And she said she's never seen anything like it. So Washington, D.C. is a totally safe city. We have virtually no crime. It's gone from the most unsafe city in the United States, almost, just about, to one of the safest cities, maybe the safest city in the United States. That's a tremendous compliment to our military, what we did. The National Guard's done a fantastic job. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, can I ask about Florida real quick? Florida House Speaker Daniel Perez was at the White House yesterday as part of a leadership summit.
Yes.
My understanding you met with him separately. Mr. President, what did you talk about? And also, did you explore him running for Florida region?
I didn't. We didn't talk about that, but he's done a fantastic job. He's respected all over the country, really. He's a leader, and he's done just a fantastic job. We didn't discuss anything having to do with his future. I'm sure he'd be very good at that.
My second question, Alligator Alcatraz, sticking with Florida, a major ruling appeals court blocked the federal judge order to close it, and it remains open for now. Your reaction?
I think they've done a fantastic job in building it, the governor and everybody else that's been involved. It's an incredible facility. It's housing people for usually a very short period of time before they get brought back to their countries. As you know, we focus on criminals before we focus on anybody else, and we're taking thousands and thousands of criminals out every month out of our country, some of them murderers. And I think Florida's done a great job by building it, and whether it's Alligator, Alcatraz, or anything else you want to call it, I was there. I visited with the governor, with other people. I guess Nikki was there. Tom Homan's been there a lot. A lot of people have been there from, it's an amazing facility for what it is. It's not a hotel. It's not supposed to be a hotel, but they've done a great job with it. I'm very happy with the judge's decision.
You also mentioned Venezuela. I want to ask one more follow-up question on that. On the U.S. strike memo tied to the Venezuelan drug cartel, the Maduro regime is pushing back today. In fact, they say the U.S. seeks regime change through military threat, through a reaction to those words, and also, would you like to see regime change in Venezuela?
Well, we're not talking about that, but we are talking about the fact that you had an election which was a very strange election, and to put it mildly. I'm being very nice when I say that. I can only say that billions of dollars of drugs are pouring into our country from Venezuela. The prisons of Venezuela have been opened up to our country. They've taken their prisoners, the worst prisoners, murderers, Tren de Aragua. The worst prisoners that you can ever imagine are now happily living in the United States of America. Now, many of them we've gotten out. It's not easy to get them out because of the liberal system that we're working with in many cases, not in all cases. But millions and millions of dollars and billions of dollars of drugs are pouring out of Venezuela and other countries. Look, China, what they're doing with fentanyl is a terrible thing. It comes through Canada and it comes through Mexico, but a lot of it's coming through Venezuela. Venezuela's been a very bad actor, and we understand that. And when you look at that boat, you see the bags of whatever it is, those bags were, you know what those bags represent? Hundreds of thousands of dead people in the United States. That's what they represent. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, your reaction to the jobs report this morning?
Well, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. We have our great people here, so I'll talk that in a minute. Let's talk about this. We'll give a couple of because these two people want to get to work on the Department of War. So let's keep them first.
Mr. President, the DOJ is reportedly considering a ban on transgender people owning guns after the Minneapolis shooting. Do you think they should...
Are we talking in the military?
In general.
Okay, I thought you were talking about in the military. I'll refer to that then differently. Because it's not a military question, I'll be able to pass on that very nicely unless you'd like to talk about it. Pete doesn't want any part of that question. Yes, please.
Mr. President, who do you blame for losing India to China? In your post earlier today in the morning, you did put that out.
I don't think we have. I've been very disappointed that India would be buying so much oil, as you know, from Russia. And I let them know that. We put a very big tariff on India, 50% tariff, very high tariff. I get along very well with Modi, as you know. He's great. He was here a couple of months ago. In fact, we went to the Rose Garden and the grass was so soaking wet. It was such a terrible place to have a news conference. I said, well, let's use a beautiful white stone emblematic of the White House, okay? And it's been very well received. But we had a news conference on the grass. That was my last news conference I had on the grass because everybody sunk in. You probably sunk in. Every reporter out there, they ruined their shoes. We made that change. It's been a really well-received change. Yeah, please, go ahead.
On Venezuela, you've said F-35s out of Puerto Rico, you've said naval vessels in the Caribbean, you're concerned about drugs being legally sent into the
Yeah.
How do you describe this build-up, this situation?
Well, I just think it's strong. We're strong on drugs. We don't want drugs killing our people. I believe we lost 300,000. You know, they always say 95, 100,000. I believe they've been saying that for 20 years. I believe we lost 300,000 people last year. I know families that lost their son. Those families will never be the same. I know a family lost a daughter, a beautiful daughter. In fact, it was like she took something that she thought was like a minor deal, and it turned out to be riddled out with fentanyl, the size of the head of a pin, and you're dead. And no, we're stopping the drugs. We're going to save a lot of people. Look, whether it's 100,000, but it's not. It's 350,000 people died last year from drugs. And we're not going to let that happen to this country. Think of that. Think if you're in a war and you lose 300,000. We'll lose 600,000 in the, pretty much between Gettysburg and all of that, in the Civil War, we lost, 600,000. So we're losing half of that every year to drugs. We're not going to do it. We're not going to allow it to happen. You think of the wars. If we lost 600,000 people in a war, but we lose that every 2 years, more than that. So it's 300 to 350,000 people. And when I see boats coming in, like loaded up the other day with all sorts of drugs, probably fentanyl mostly, but all sorts of drugs, and we're going to take them out. And if people want to have fun going on the high seas or the low seas, they're going to be in trouble. I will tell you, boat traffic is substantially down in the area that happened. They called it the runway.
Now, they actually said that that boat might not have had on there what he said was on there, actually. He's saying that that boat had 11 passengers, which is usually ironic for a drug boat because a drug boat doesn't carry 11 passengers. A drug boat usually carries like 2 passengers in order to have more cargo for the drugs. But they said it was 11 people on this boat and they blew it up. So you can't really get the evidence or nothing from it. But they said it probably was more like a traffic, you know what I'm saying? Probably, it might have had some important people on there. We don't know. I don't know who the hell was on the boat. But 11 people on a small ass drug boat like that, something ain't right. Huh? Something ain't right. 11 passengers? Come on. I seen the clip.
It's a runway to the United States. And boat traffic is very substantially down on the runway. You can imagine why. I think anybody that saw that is going to say, I'll take a pass. I don't even know about fishermen. They may say, I'm not getting on the boat. I'm not going to take a chance.
What happens if Venezuela flies jets over U.S. naval vessels again?
Well, I would say they're going to be in trouble. We'll let them know about that. We heard that happen, but it wasn't really over. Not like they described. But I would say, General, if they do that, you have a choice of doing anything you want, okay? If they fly in a dangerous position, I would say that you can, you or your captains can make the decision as to what they want to do, all right? Sure.
Sir,
How close
we
did
have
they get,
one
Mr.
minute.
President? You said they didn't go over.
Say it?
How close did they get? You said the planes did not.
Well, I don't want to talk about that, but if they do put us in a dangerous position, they'll be shut down. Thank you very much, everybody. So we're going to now cover the G20, and I'm going to let these people go back to the Department of War and figure out how to maintain peace. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Congratulations, General. Thank you. It's a great job.
Sir, just before G20, we do have one more EO for you today. And I should also say that the Department of War EO that you signed was actually your 200th EO since you came back into office on January 20th. That's more than Joe Biden did in his entire term in office, more than Obama did in either of his 2 terms in office. So it's a momentous accomplishment and congratulations.
That's good, but Biden never signed one.
No, you've done every one up in your
They've been signed by the autocrat, right, didn't he? So we really beat him by much more than you think.
The 201st executive order, sir, this relates to hostages and wrongfully detained Americans. This provides a new legal mechanism to declare foreign countries to be countries that engage in those sorts of practices and gives your administration powerful tools to get American hostages out. This has been a focus of your administration this time around. Adam Bowler's here, and he's done incredible work already. This will give him even more.
I think it's great, and Adam's amazing. So, Adam, do you want to describe how many hostages we've gotten out together, you and I, and you and a couple of other people that we know, and me and a couple of other people that you don't know, but we've gotten a lot of hostages. Do you want to describe it?
Mr. President, you brought back 72 hostages since your term. If we compare that to President Biden, he has gotten 20 taken. So he is negative
20 taken.
20 taken.
They don't take our people so often.
So, Mr. President,
That's good.
when we spoke, you said that that was a primary focus, and I'll tell you the job is easy because of you.
And we paid nothing, too.
We pay nothing.
They pay $6 billion. They always paid $6 billion for 5 people. $6 billion. It was just a number I kept hearing. Not only that, $6 billion plus we'd get like 1 person, and they'd get 6. They got one. The Prince of Doom, they called him. He was the #1 arms merchant anywhere in the world ever. And they got him out. And on top of that, we paid money. So, no, we don't do that. You know, once you pay money, then a lot of people start disappearing. They start grabbing reporters too. They think the reporter is gonna get a lot of money. And to me, they would. You'll be well taken care of. I better stress that, because otherwise we have headlines. He said this or he said that. No, I'm not smiling about it. But they would. They'd be grabbing reporters. They'd be grabbing everybody. And especially when you pay the kind of money that Biden and Obama, they used to pay money that was crazy. We don't pay. And if you don't pay, they find it to be not a lucrative business anymore. That's fantastic. Would you like to say something?
Sure. So it's really Spiha, Special Envoy Ebola, it's Rick Grinnell, it's Steve Witkoff, who brought Americans home. But with this EO you are signing today, you are drawing a line in the sand that US citizens will not be used as bargaining chips, and it provides your Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, the same tool set to punish states who take our citizens wrongfully, the same way that we can punish those who sponsor terrorists. This is a very significant EO you are signing today, sir.
Thank you, Sebastian. Very good. You're doing a great job, too.
And this is your Director for Hostage Affairs at the NSC.
Yes, and I hear.
So Julia was seminal as well to all of this.
I heard you're doing unbelievable. Would you like to say something?
Absolutely. It's a outstanding EO, absolutely unprecedented action against those foreign adversaries who would take our people. They now know they are on notice, and it's not acceptable. And if you take our people now, you will pay.
You know, Adam gave up a job where he was making tremendous amounts of money, big stuff, top of the line, Wall Street. And he wanted to do this. He wanted to do hostages. I offered him other jobs too, very big jobs. He said, I was shocked actually. He didn't want to. He wanted to do hostage negotiation, and pretty amazing. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you all. Do you have any questions for them on this very important subject?
I think it shows a lot of your leadership as far as fighting for Americans and fighting for humans, and to think that, you know, Joe Biden went to negative territory.
Oh, he went way negative.
Way negative, and you're actually making progress on this. I think this does send a message to the world that we don't negotiate, we're going to stay strong in that type of what they call business.
One little anecdote that may be of interest. We were told by numerous families who had missing loved ones during the Biden administration that this building, Biden's National Security Council, told those families not to talk about their missing loved ones, to be quiet, not to create any pressure on Biden and on Jake Sullivan, the key propagator of the Russia hoax. This administration has met with those families on a weekly basis.
Right.
People like Adam, yourself, sir, your envoys are doing everything to get every single American home. Not to tell them not to talk about their loved ones, but bring them home.
Well, you know, I can tell you one story that was amazing. A few weeks ago, very little written about it, but there should have been. But it was a very nice gesture. The head of Belarus, who's a very respected man, strong person, strong leader. He released 16 hostages. And John Cole, a lawyer who works for me, great lawyer actually, one of the greatest lawyers. But John Cole was over there, and he heard that they had hostages. And you know about this. 16 people he released. And I just want to thank the head of Belarus. But while John was over there, they had, I believe, another 1,400 hostages. Now, not from us, from places all over the world. And just a pretty tough place, in all fairness. But they had 1,400. And I believe they're going to be releasing a lot of those 1,400. They're not, I think very few of any. We got pretty much ours back. And we didn't pay anything, but I very much gave my respects to the leader of the country. Was again, he's a very strong man. He's got 1,400 or 1,500 or a large number, and we're talking about releasing them. Some are political, I guess a lot of them are political. and looks like they're going to be released at some point in the pretty near future. So it's a great thing. They have to respect your country. If they respect you and they respect your country, they release it. If they don't, then you have to pay $6 billion. I mean, $6 billion. Can you imagine that, paying $6 billion?
Kind of related, but not really. You comment on Tina Peters, who's been locked up behind bars from Colorado in the election. I think you put out a couple days ago about it.
We have a wonderful woman who was an election official, and she saw cheating in Colorado, and she viewed it as horrible, and she said, what's going on here? And she went to the machine and she tried to open to find out whether or not it was cheating, and they went to her and they said, did you touch this machine? Yes. And they arrested her. They arrested her instead of the people that did the cheating. It's a state charge, so it's hard to do anything with, but we're gonna do something. What they did in Colorado, look, Colorado just went to all mail-in voting. That means they cheat. That's why they lost, that's one of the reasons, but that's a big reason why they just lost the whole Space Command situation that is going to Alabama. But when you have mail-in voting, you have nothing but cheating. But this woman is a real patriot, and they put her in jail for a long time. She's 72 years old, 73 years old, and she wanted to find out. She didn't do anything. She touched the machine. She looked at the machine. She's trying to find out what was going on. And they went and arrested her for doing that. And it was supposed to be the other way around. I'm glad you brought that up. They should let her go. Let her out.
Let her free.
Thank you. Yeah, please.
This isn't really the subject that's talked about, Mr. President, but what about your key strategy?
One's in the chat. One's in the chat. If you're a real person, put a 1 in the
I
chat.
think they respect us. They know we're not going to pay. Adam is a great negotiator. Steve Woodcock is a great negotiator. Seb is a great negotiator. They're all smart people. They're a little bit natural.
Oh, we got some real people in here. It's not all bots in here.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Okay, we got some real people in here. It's not all bots in
I
here.
don't know. I hope so, or whatever.
America Roadrunner, stop spamming too. I seen it the first time.
You know, I actually say whatever it takes. But we've gotten a lot of people out, and we'll continue. We don't have too many in. How many are you working on right now?
Not a lot, but
We got most of our people out. We got them mostly back.
Mr. President, do you have an update on the negotiations?
You're on TikTok? Are you live?
I'm
about to go live on my Energy of Atlas account.
With Hamas. We said let them all out.
Watch this.
Right now,
Watch
let them
these
all out.
numbers come in.
And much better things will happen for them. But if you don't let them all out,
Are you live over
it's going to
there?
be a tough situation. It's going to be nasty. That's my opinion.
Nah, you're not live.
Israel's choice, but that's my opinion.
You ain't come up
You
in the
gotta let 'em
box.
out. You got 20 plus you have about 38 dead people. Young, beautiful, dead people. And I'll tell you, the parents want them every bit as much, almost more, than as if their son or daughter were alive. But you have many dead people that are coming out as part of the deal. It's 20 people, but
Nah,
I
I'm
think
gonna go
of the
live
20,
on my
there could be
gaming
some
page.
that have recently died, is what I'm hearing. I hope that's wrong. But you have over 30 bodies in this negotiation. Can you believe? I mean, we negotiate for people that are living here. We know that at least 30 people are dead, and we're negotiating to get them out.
Over
The
30
parents
people,
want them
damn.
back so badly, as if they were alive. Every bit as much. It's really pretty amazing. It's very sad. I'm in the middle of it. And I
Stuck
put out
in the
other
middle
days, and
again.
we want all 20. We don't want to, I was the one with myself and my people, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner was great on this.
20K.
But they got a lot of people out. We got almost all of them out. They're down to 20. But Adam, we got like a tremendous number out. But I always said when you get down to the final 10 or 20, you're not going to get them out unless you're going to do a lot. And doing a lot means capitulation. That's still good either. It's a very tough situation. But I put out the other day, let them all out. Every single one. No more 2s and 1s. We'll give you 1 this week, and in 2 months we'll give you 2 more. And there's negotiation going on right now.
What is the biggest challenge negotiating with Hamas right now? 10 to 20 What do they want to let them free?
Well, they're asking for some things that are fine. Look, you have to understand, you have to remember October 7th. You know, people forget October 7th. It's not an easy thing to forget, right? But people forget, and they maybe purposely forget October 7th. So, you know,
Now,
you have to
people
put
will
that
join
into the
this panel.
equation very strongly.
My other
It's,
page might not be strong, but this
amazing.
page will
Some
bring
people
in a
even
lot of
deny
people.
it. They deny it. They're crazy.
Promise you
But
that.
I've seen
This
tape
page,
that's
you
as
might
violent
see
as
700
anything
people in here go
that
to,
you can imagine.
after
Many of
this
you will
room
see
get
those same
built up.
tapes. So you have to put that into the equation too. So it's not an easy situation. It's a tough one. But there are 20 people, maybe a little less, but there are 20 people that we want out. We want the bodies of these parents. They are. I've never seen anything like it. The level of love that they have, they want their children back. And you know, I see demonstrations, big demonstrations in Israel about the hostages, not about the war, about the hostages, which puts Israel in a tough position because, you know, it's tough to prosecute a war when you have people they want the 20 people back. They just want them back very badly and everything that goes with it. So it's very sad. Thank you very much. We're going to talk now.
Did I go to high
G20.
school?
I figured we could wrap
Damn,
the last
yes.
time I took a day off, everybody said bad
I'm
things happened to
educated.
me. You know that?
I'm educated.
I took one day off. I didn't take it off. I was working. In fact, I was here. But I didn't do a news conference, and they said bad things happened to the president.
Love and light, love and light.
Inspectors. You know, Obama, if you look, Biden, he had a press conference. He missed it for about a year, right? About a year. And I never saw any stories like that about him. He didn't have, and when he had one, they'd ask him, what flavor ice cream do you like? He'd say vanilla. How many times have they asked him that question?
Hold on, let me reset the live.
What's your favorite ice cream, sir? Vanilla. Okay, that's enough. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. They don't have to go through this, but we all have a good time. I only do it for one reason. I think it's good for the country. And we are very transparent. There's never been transparency like we have. There's nothing to hide. So thank you very much on this, Will. Great job. Appreciate it. So we're going to talk about Florida, the great state of Florida now, because it's going to be a very exciting thing to host the G20. And as we celebrate our nation's 250th anniversary next year, the United States will have the honor of hosting exactly that, the G20 summit right here in America for the first time in nearly 20 years. This afternoon, I'm thrilled to announce that the 2026 G20 conference, which will be, I could read off the countries that we're talking about, but you know who they are, I think. Does anybody want me to list them specifically? Jennifer, you're okay? Okay, but will be held in one of our country's greatest cities, beautiful Miami, Florida, where we have the mayor, Mayor Suarez. And I want to thank Francis for being here. I thought he might be in this office. You know, he almost got there. There's a couple of them. Yeah, right? A couple of them. It's not as easy as they think. Right? It's not that easy. But he's an amazing guy, very popular in Florida. The agenda for next year's
Who is not coming up? Stop capping like you trying to come up on the panel. That's 2 requests that you denied. Stop.
He's sort of standing over there, nice, tall, good-looking guy, but he moved very quickly. Carolyn, you did a good job. Does Caroline do a good job, would you say? Is she a star? How do you compare with the last administration's person? No? You don't want to get into that. Yeah, I think we're very happy with Caroline. But Scott Besson is...
they tricking us, man. This is like circle talk.
We're very proud of him. He's very much involved with the G20. And the NEC director, Kevin Hassett, who's a truly talented guy. He's certainly being thought of to go to a different position. We'll find out about that pretty soon. I don't know, would you like to be there? I won't ask you that. I think, who wouldn't want it? I think it's the greatest position in the world. You know, you come out, you make a speech, and then you go away for 30 days or 40 days, and you come out, make another speech, the market goes up or down, depending on what you want to say. I've never seen an easier position than that.
Uncle Dad is crazy.
You need good instincts, so we have somebody.
Uncle Dad is crazy.
Have them, we call them too late. But it will focus on unleashing economic prosperity by eliminating eliminating the burdensome regulations, unlocking
Nah, I closed the
affordable
live. I
energy,
had to
and
change the title
pioneering
just
new
now.
technologies, and it's going to be very important.
I don't
The
think you
United
can. I don't
States
know
is
if you
already
can come up
leading
on
by
the computer.
example.
I don't think so.
And
So,
America is the hottest country
or
anywhere.
if you get
Earth.
on your phone,
We
you
have
probably
more
can
being built
press
under
the guest box
construction
and
now
come up.
than they think anybody that they've ever seen. I mean, literally, some of these places are just really unbelievable what they're building. The size. You know, if you spend $50 million on a shopping center,
Where's
someplace,
everybody
it's a big
watching
building,
from?
Pretty big building. But when you spend $50 billion on essentially a building, a building's going up for $50 billion. They're going to be building their own electricity, and many of them have been given permits already to go.
What
They're
does that
starting construction.
mean?
Some have
What
started
does building their
researching
own
quite a while ago.
electricity mean?
And very early in the administration, we let them do that. You know, we have a grid that's obviously an old grid. It's been around for a long time. We could never handle the kind of numbers that you're talking about in terms of electricity, and we're letting them build their own plants. They build their own plants.
Listen to what he said. Listen to what he just said. He said, we have a grid. It's an old grid, right? We have a grid. It's an old grid. We're going to let them tap into that grid pretty much. What grid is he talking about? Is the crystals up under America activated? Or is the energy up under us more activated than in the rest of the world? Is it ether? Is it putting those, you know they had the cathedrals with the little balls on top that used to collect ether to create electricity. Is he talking about that? Is he talking about gathering the ether that's in the air to create electricity? Is that what he's talking about? I'm just saying.
And with their structures. So they build their structure, they build their buildings, and they build an electric producing plant with it. Like Con Edison in New York that I grew up with, and like others that make electricity, they make it for New York. These plants will make it for their building, for AI. Then you have a lot of the car plants going up. Most of them won't need that kind of electricity.
Boom. Boom. These plants will be going up for AI. Listen, these plants will be going up for AI. That means they need these grids out there. That means they got to put these grids out there in order to do what? Keep the AI running. It's for AI. This shit ain't for us. It's for AI. These plants will be going up for AI. The electricity that it'll be collecting and gathering will be for AI.
But they have the right to do that also. So we're allowing companies to build electric plants. They become, essentially, Scott, I guess they become utilities, right? If you think about it. And it's very exciting. We're going to end up with more electricity than China. And it's going to be built at no cost to us. And I'm telling them, build more than you need and you'll sell it back into the grid. So they'll be able to sell it back into the grid on top of everything else.
That's the same thing they said with windmills.
It's very exciting.
With the farming thing, the windmills, solar panels, sell it back to the grid.
Get an approval. So they're building massive amounts of electricity as we speak. We've eliminated $5 trillion worth of federal regulations, another big thing since I took office. And if you remember the first term, we took out more regulations.
Yeah, you're right.
Than
Windmills might be trash.
in history times.
But
We
at
got
one
in the
point,
top
windmills was
4,
gathering energy.
and they wouldn't come anywhere close to what we were. That's one of the reasons we had such the most successful 4 years of
Dams gather
any
energy,
president
windmills gather
economically,
energy.
and this is blowing it away. I think this will blow it away when these plants start to even getting close to opening. I think you're going to see numbers that we've not seen before. And we've increased oil production by more than 300 barrels a day.
Record numbers.
That's a lot. Blue-collar wages are rising at the fastest rate in 60 years, and trillions of dollars of investment is pouring into the USA. It's going to be over $17 trillion very shortly, and nobody ever thought a thing like that was possible. What made it possible were, number one, they were happy with November 5th. They were happy with the election. And number two, the tariffs are bringing countries in. I mean, it's so vital to our country. It's before the courts now, and I hope we're going to do very well. We had 4 great opinions just come out, as you know, from judges. In a couple of cases, there were Obama-appointed judges that felt they had to do what was right for the country. So I respect that greatly. I respect them for doing it. But we have very strong opinions, and it'll end up going to the Supreme Court. And it's just vital for the country. Vital, absolutely. We're at a level that we've never thought we'd be at, and it's because of the tariffs. Countries are pouring into our country because of you avoid tariffs if you build here. If you don't build here, you pay a lot of money. But if you build here, so what people are doing is they're coming in, they're building here. No different than what other countries have done to us. But we have a big advantage over other countries. We have a market that we built up during our 4 years that was amazing. We took a commanding lead during that 4-year period. So it's a very exciting thing, but I look forward to showing
we almost had 100 likes in
success
there.
to the world when we visit Miami next year. And I'd like to ask Mayor Suarez, truly a highly respected gentleman who's loved in his city, and we're gonna do a great job. We're gonna work together and do a fantastic job. Mayor, would you say a few words, please?
Of course, thank you, Mr. President. It's a tremendous honor to be with you here today in the Oval Office to make this historic announcement. Just looking at the sign, which is so beautiful.
Good job.
Yeah, it's a great job. As you know, Mr. President, you were elected by double digits. You were the first Republican president over 30 years to win Miami-Dade County. And you did it because you followed through on your promises. And in Miami, what we're doing is we are following through on those promises as well. We've kept taxes low, we've kept people safe, we've leaned into innovation, we've grown 150% in the last 10 years. We've created one of the most intriguing ecosystems in the world. And this decision is not only generationally important for the city, but it puts the city on the map as one of the truly great global cities. So on behalf of all of the workers of Miami, those that work in the hospitality industry, I know you own many hospitality assets and properties, all of the small business owners who are going to benefit economically from having the G20 in Miami.
Tremendous benefit. It's going to bring in millions and millions of dollars.
We just say thank you. We thank you for believing in us. We thank you for highlighting our city at a time when we have the lowest homeless rate in 11 years. We're on the precipice of having the lowest homicide rate in history, and with the lowest taxes. So we're following your America First agenda, and we're creating success in, Miami's the greatest city in the world, we believe.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll see you down there before then, but we'll see you. Of course. Scott, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, sir. So we're excited to have the G20, and what's important about the G20, President Trump's America First initiative does not mean America alone. It means America leads. So we will be holding the G20 in the capital of the world, Miami, next year to showcase
Capital of the world.
The beginning of President Trump's
They
secretary.
say anything.
A year and a half into it, we will have done peace deals, tax deals, trade deals. We've made the U.S. the best place to come, start a business, have tax certainty,
Capital of the
energy
world,
certainty,
Craig.
and regulatory certainty. And it's going to be an exciting event. And the U.S., just as the president was saying earlier about the Defense Department of War, the U.S. is back on the international stage. As a leader, we have whittled down the G20 back to basics. We are making it work for the American people better than ever.
We are great again.
The G20 has become basically the G100 this past year.
Say we're great again.
A concentrated group in Miami, seeing the best America has to offer with American leadership, thanks to President Trump.
Thank you very much.
Say we're great again.
Great job you're doing. Kevin, would you like to say a few words?
Mr. President, I think this G20 meeting where the world leaders will come to the great city of Miami is going to be viewed as one of the most important meetings in global history because what's going
like
to
his
happen
nose
is
is
the golden
stuffy.
age is going to be documented so well in the data by next summer that you're going to have one of the best speeches written for you that you've ever seen because we're just going to be talking about the accomplishments of the next year.
I think so.
Why he sound like when he was a kid, he said, "Dee, get out of my laboratory."
A lot of these plants are going to be open by then.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of jobs are coming in like I think we've never seen before. It's going to be good. Monica, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Mr. President. We're so looking forward to having the United States of America host the G20 in Miami in December of next year. And we're also looking forward to having this
We almost had 100
showcase
likes.
of American strength, vision,
3 hours.
innovation, and power under your bold leadership, Mr. President. It is going to be the G20.
Everybody just gotta
in the
say
Trump
nice
golden
shit.
age.
Trump, and they calling it the golden age. That is woke talk. That is spiritual talk. The golden age, the age of Aquarius. Come on.
Kevin.
You see how they be throwing that? You see how they be throwing that in there? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look how they threw that in there. That's woke talk.
I sort of know who I'm going to pick, but no, I didn't say anybody in particular. But Kevin is certainly one of the three. They say four, but probably three. That he's a highly respected person. He's great. He's great. He believes in low interest rates, and we all do. But sometimes you have to raise them to stop inflation. We had the worst inflation, I guess, essentially that we've ever had in the Biden administration, and it really hurt people. You know, costs are way down. Our energy costs are way down. And you know, when energy comes down, everything comes down. And we brought down the price of groceries and specifically the price of eggs. You remember that first week when you were screaming about eggs? I said, I know nothing about them. I just got here. That's Biden's problem. But we got the cost of eggs down to really low numbers. So we brought costs down for people. And, you know, it's something I said. And the Democrats have this false narrative. They say, oh, costs went up. They just say things that it's just like incredible. If you look at energy, I think you're going to be at $2 a gallon with cars very shortly. $2. It was $4, $5 under the Democrats. It's a huge, it's like a massive tax
energy.
Cut. And speaking of tax cuts, we gave you the largest tax cut.
We're going to be down to $2 in gas?
Bill that we just approved.
Damn, is we going back to cruising USA time?
And there'll be no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime.
$2 gas?
Nah,
he talking about Tesla.
Buy the car, you're allowed to.
He ain't talking about gas. $2 for gas?
You know, rich people like to talk about deductions. Middle income, they never gave them deductions. I got them. One of the best deductions, an interest deduction. So it's great. Jennifer, please.
Yeah, a couple questions on the G20, sir. Is there any update on your plans to attend this year's G20? And then are you saying for next year?
I won't be going this year. It's in South Africa. I won't be going. JD will be going, great vice president, and he looks forward to it. But no, I won't be going to that.
And then on the guest for 2026, are you saying it'll just be exclusively the 19 countries, the 2 blocks, there won't be any?
No, we're going to invite other countries as observers. They call them observers, but they'll have something to say. But we're going to invite Poland. Already I've issued them an invitation. They're great. They were just here, as you know. Great leader, great new leader. One of the big surprises, I was so happy I endorsed him actually, and he won. And he's going to be a great leader of Poland. But I've invited Poland.
Well, Ozzy, I don't know what you said, but you done did it.
I haven't thought of that. No, I haven't thought of that. That's an interesting question. I'm going to think about that for a little while.
Mr. President, you just mentioned that the tax cut bill. Why the rebrand from One Big Beautiful Bill?
Oh, I just save words. I said the bill. It's one big. I actually call it the great. I actually call it the great big beautiful bill. But it's a lot of words.
He calls it the great big beautiful bill.
You know, I just want them to say what's in it.
It's a big,
incredible
big
bill for the middle class.
I mean, it's a big.
The working person. You know, we are a party of the working. It used to be the opposite. The Democrats were for the working people and the Republicans were supposedly for the rich. The Republican Party's taken in millions of people and the Democrats have lost millions of people. They've gone crazy. Honestly, I think they're crazy. What's happened to them, I don't know. They suffer major Trump derangement syndrome, and it's turned out to be actually a disease. But it's a disease of weak people and stupid people because all we do is we cut taxes, we create great policy. Their policy is so terrible. They refuse to acknowledge, as an example, I see today, it's a big debate again, the women, they don't want men playing in their sports. They don't want it. The Democrats want men to play in women's sports. I saw the
it's a big, beautiful.
Talking about it today, that
it's
woman
big.
Running against our Republican candidate, who's excellent.
How many times he say big?
Like
the big,
so
big, beautiful bill.
You know, men being able to use.
It's actually gigantic, ginormous.
What's that all about? Men
we couldn't use that word. That was the first word I came up to use. Ginormous bill.
Again,
they said no, we can't say that.
We've gone through with millions. I think 25 million people came in from prisons, from mental institutions, drug dealers, drug addicts, they're pouring into, like, they poured in, now we have none coming in. We
The
have,
addicts,
the
the
border's been
dealers,
sealed
everybody?
for a long time, actually, almost since I got into office. Remember when the Democrats said we need legislation? I didn't have any legislation. I said close the borders, and now the borders for the last...
What's up with you?
What up? You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's muffled, but I mean, I guess we can hear you.
Alright, let me get close.
Probably should be louder, but yeah, we can hear you. What's up?
Man, I'm watching this with y'all.
Oh.
Wow, Trump is dead.
Trump is, man, listen, he doing the most right now. I mean, the big, beautiful bill, between that and everything else, like, he doing the most, man. I thought we was moving towards peace. He was talking that. Then he switched it up, went left, you know, made a right somewhere, you know. They asking for him to expose some stuff. They asking for him to speak on some stuff. He not really speaking on the Epstein stuff, you know. The stuff that he is speaking on is speculation around it, you know. And then you got the whole 3-Eye Atlas thing coming in November, you know. The weather right now is kind of eerie for September, early September. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this it ain't supposed to be the temperature ain't supposed to be this cold at night. It ain't supposed to be dropping like this at night. The weather stations are shutting down, so we're not even about to get accurate weather pretty soon. Like, are we not watching what's going on in the world?
Right. I'm curious about that. You saying you talking about that dome that you want to put?
The Golden Dome?
Yeah, how's that gonna work?
Okay, to be honest, you're not going to really see it because the dome is, I think, is based off of these satellite positionings. I didn't know it was like, I started looking up these satellites. Like, you know, New York alone has 200 stationary satellites above it. So if you're looking at it, then we might be already in a satellite dome type thing. Kind of like, you know, they played it in the movie, you know, Guardian of the Galaxy, or, you know, some of the other movies that they showed you this kind of field around it. And now they're coming out telling you, you know, hey, you know, there is a plasma field around the moon, just like everything else. So Earth might have a plasma field around it too. There's a lot of stuff that they're just not telling us. The operation of the black sun, you know, the operation of intent. Where are they getting this free energy from? This old grid that's been around in America now. It said that this grid will awaken. This grid that he's saying is old. The Bible told you that this grid would awaken. Constantine tricked us to not know what the 144 was, which was the chakra systems, the 144 chromosomes inside of mankind vessel that's connected to the 144 Lee lines in the earth. You know, as above, so below, as without, so within. Allegedly, supposedly.
Right.
New beginnings, what's going on with you?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I like the content. I like what you guys are talking about. And I mean, I think we can all agree that most of the truths that we're going to get is mainly from more truth from movies than we're ever going to get from the news, media, or any of the government by now. Because the thing is, they've been trying to hide things from us for so long now that really we're going to find out more just through with our inner self, nature, and just our spirits alone. Because it just going, like I was listening to what you were saying, just paying attention to, even with the ocean going in its reverse, the 31 Atlas, the Doomsday Fish, CERN. When you think about the signs of the times and things that are going on, they're not going to reveal what it really is anyway. So we have to kind of just put the pieces together ourselves like a puzzle from all different aspects. You know, that's why I follow everything. I don't box myself in. So what I do is put all the information together myself and then just let my spirit kind of lead me in a direction. And I think that's what we all pretty much are doing at this point, because we're not going to get the answers directly from them. let's put it this way: if there are coming on that day that they say they don't know what exactly they're going to do. If they do, they definitely not going to tell us. Like the movie Look Up, Don't Look Up, I think it was. They're not going to tell us.
Yeah. I just watched that, Iron Sky, the coming of the new race. I just watched that last night. I think I watched half of that last night or something. And it was ironic about, how they put stuff in there, Hitler still being around, but going into the center of Earth, all this other stuff. I was like, man, I forgot how much they was telling us in movies. I want
when they
that.
came out with Eraser, I take it back when Arnold Schwarzenegger had the movie Eraser, which was years back. There was a weapon that was on there where it could actually see through walls, and we thought it was so futuristic back then, but they actually already had that in prototype with the government at that time. They just were preparing us. What we kind of realize now, anytime they put out a movie, I realize they can't put out the truth. They can't tell us the truth, but it's like, as weird as it sounds, like some type of contract where they have to let
tell
us
us
know.
the truth without telling us
if
the
we
truth.
see it, if we find it. But that's why when I do watch movies and things, even Evil Dead Rising, I was watching that the other day. It's crazy that movie was. And I say, you know what? It does make sense with things they can possess you, but not in so outrageous the way they show it, but they're letting you know how this stuff really works, so you can, it's up to us to take the information to protect ourselves and prepare ourselves individually. And ones like us, we're actually able to interpret it and kind of spread it out to the masses who are willing to break out of the paradigm in religion, politics, and racism and all of that to actually see it. Because if you're locked into those three, I think it's harder to see.
I'm not gonna lie, like me analyzing movies, I like explaining the world to people through movies. And I'll run through 3 movies right now, right? Blade, you know what I'm saying? That's one movie that you can explain the world through, right? Explaining the world about the daywalker, one who walks in the day. This is the same as the daydreamer, one who, you know what I mean? They explain that, right? A lot of the creatures a lot of the entities that roam our vessel right now is night entities. That's why I say we run the night, right? We rule the night, because we greed, gluttony, lust, all of these are low vibrational night entities, right? But there's one who operates in the day, which is logic and wisdom, operate in the light, but still rules in the night, right? They don't like that one. This is the Blade saga. You get what I'm saying? And then you have Underworld. Underworld is great because Underworld explains more of the rotation of things, right? Every so often a new deity awakes in order to rule the time that they're supposed to rule. Like right now we're going into the Aquarius sky, and there's a new ruler of that Aquarius sky if you look into it. Even planetary ruler. It is, Uranus is the planetary ruler of that sky, where previously we were under, Pisces, and the ruler of that sky was Saturn. So even that is an understanding of it through, the underworld concept, and even breaking it down from the vampires and the Vikings. You're looking at it, and it's 2 different types of breeds down here. One that has to protect the other one at night, so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying?
First, I want to commend you because you actually named one of my favorite movies, Blade. And it's funny is that you said that movie, because first that was the movie that catapulted Marvel in the beginning. I remember when I first saw Blade at the theaters, and it was nothing like it. And it was before all these other vampire movies came out. And to see how they took that, because this is the thing about when I look at Blade. See, God, if we want to look at God in the context, he's everything. So man is separated, but really God is good. He can go in light, dark. It can do anything, the energy, the frequency. So when I looked at Blade, I realized something. Like it was a particular scene where he was getting on the train and he was helping a young lady, and she tried to grab him, and he had the serum, which was red, was with that blood, you know, the blood, and he stuck, you know, he put it in him, and she looked at him, and she made one of the best quotes. I'll never forget this. She said, "You're one of them." And as he's putting the serum in him, he looks at her and he's taking these breaths. He's like, "No, I'm something else." And when he said, "I'm something else," that struck me. I said, "Oh my gosh." That something else stuck. It's still stuck with me to today.
Because they
It
put
lets
this.
us understand we
Listen.
have the abilities of all of that, but we're different. We're light and dark. We're not locked into a paradigm. If you're just going on the, like, let's say, wicked side, we're enlightened to understand the truth. And once you understand the truth, you are a danger. You're a danger to the forces that want to keep you corrupted, and also to the ones that claim, the best is the ones that claim to be enlightened, because they are the traditional ones, the ones that want to, you know, not break free from their own paradigm. So it's almost like we have to stay in our own lane, where it's almost like we're not on neither side. We're on righteous, we're on light, we're on truth side.
Well, that's where, you know, discernment comes in, but also what we're saying related to the movies is like, that's where that being able to be multidimensional and hold that balance, right? You know, a lot of people can't hold that balance. There's only certain beings down here that can hold the balance between light and dark energy inside their vessel. Not everybody can do that. This is why, you know, you hear certain elites try to say, like, I'm disciplined over the flesh. No, just because you're able to hide your low vibrations, or hide your demons, or hide your, you know, sexual, whatever you want to call it, your guilty pleasures, because you're able to hide that doesn't make you disciplined over it, right? You know, when you have discipline over it, it's a difference when you have discipline over your lower vessel, or lower half, or lower self. You tame the demons that Solomon once called the 72 demons of the soul of man. You don't try to deny that they're there. You accept the fact that these demonic entities exist inside your vessel, and you try your best to tame those of what is within, if that makes sense. When you become multidimensional, understanding Kundalini energy, and, you know, being attached to one's Akashic records, this is where fragments of knowledge comes in from old history of oneself.
If you think about it, though, it makes sense to me, because if we are naturally spiritual beings, more encountering an earthly experience, because we're forever, it makes sense that the experience. It makes sense to experience this. It's a wonderful experience. See, the thing is, who made it bad? Man made it bad. It was never a sense of something bad to God, and you know, in the sense of creation. It's just once it was distorted, in our understanding, we can't comprehend it. Even in our mindset, in our human mind, it can't handle the degree. So I totally agree with you. They suppress it. No, let me tell you something. I know myself.
Yeah, you gotta embrace
I hold
it.
myself accountable to things that I don't do, that I know I want to do, or I have the urge, but my spirit man is stronger than my flesh man now. So you're definitely correct. They can hide it, but see, that's a trap within itself, because if you try to hide it, what'll happen is that's a setup to get you in a big problem later if you just don't identify that it's there. One thing I can say, I identify that, hey, I got this in me, but I know how to control it. And also it's there for a reason. I don't even deny that. I just have to understand how to use it more so than let it be against me.
Right. That's where also discernment of oneself comes into the picture. Because I know what I'm capable of. A lot of people try to push their limits of trying to show people what they're capable of. When you know what you're capable of, you don't have to try to go show out. When you are unsure of what you're capable of, you'll go out and become a puppet for other people, because you'll start trying to perform, you know, according to how they want you to perform. Well, show me that you can perform a miracle. And once you show them that you can perform a miracle, all they're gonna do is go get other people and tell those people, man, I seen him perform a miracle. Now more people gotta come back to you, hey, show them the miracle that you showed me. How many groups of people gonna come back before somebody say, man, he should be showing people that shit. He got to go. You get what I'm saying?
Well, it's one of those things where if you pay attention to most people in society, and I know you guys see this, when you go out in public and everybody's looking around for validation to see who's looking at them. It's kind of the same thing. And it's interesting, like, we can understand it from a perspective where we're not doing anything to try to, because you're at peace. Once you find yourself and you're at peace, it creates actually enemies too, because if they can't get you to validate yourself, this is the flip side of that coin. What'll happen is they'll try to trigger you because now you're better than them. That's the spirit. See, we're dealing with spirits. It's not. I don't even look at the people anymore. I look at the energy that they're operating out of. Right. And I say to myself, because I used to be mad at people, not want to talk to people. Oh, I was terrible, man. I tested this. I get out and I say, God, I'm not even going out in public no more, because I will find myself getting into arguments because I can discern it but not know how to deal with it. Now I realize we're dealing with real entities and spirits that are, these people are so, just say low vibration, they don't even understand what's happening. So to try to even explain it, like I would not be having this conversation at all with you guys. The only reason I came on here because I was invited. So I appreciate the invite, first of all. When I got on here, I heard what you were saying straight off, and I said, hold up, let me sit back, and I'm going to listen. And this is how we have to move now, because you're going to have certain ones that's going to try to infiltrate. You already know pretty much y'all probably ran into them, and they know that you stand separate, but they really want to take that away and put your perception back on that low vibration.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but I sent you the invite because, like, you know me. Like, the name might have changed. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the knowledge and wisdom still maintained within inside the vessel. But like I said, like, just because my operation changed on the platform doesn't mean the knowledge is not still there. I was going by Energy of Atlas, and you know, a lot of people came against that name. I don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with the Atlas comet that came 2 years ago, and maybe it got something to do with this 3-eye Atlas. I don't know what the hell going on, but I've been on this app, you know, TikTok for 6 years now, and you know, you probably ran across another, you know, one.
You know what? I know I was on the other one. I didn't know this was you, but no, I have to commend you, bro. I've been following you, and I said, this brother right here. I just sit back and I'll just listen, and I was excited to know that there were others, and especially at the level that you were at. I said, man, because I'm sorry, like last 2 years, 3 years ago, I was by myself, not talking to people. I knew I was all right. I wasn't, but it's like I almost lost my mind, my old mind, to get this new mind. And when I was going through that transformation, it was, man, it was something, bro.
Nah, the first time I talked to you, bro, you was fighting some shit. I left you alone because the first time I talked to you, you had some anger with you. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I see he going through it, so he gotta go through it. But when he come out of it, we'll cross paths again. You know what I mean? Because you gotta go through it. Once you realize the history of this world, you realize the conundrum that we're in, and you're like, damn, you know, when I sat down in 2016 and I sat down and I had my chance to ask the universe for something, I asked the universe to give me the understanding to help people understand. And the universe asked me, are you sure that's what you want? I said, yeah. I didn't know what the fuck I was asking for. I ain't gonna lie to you. But when the knowledge flooded into my mind and the universe said, this will put many people against you, it told me, like, you're gonna have to separate yourself from your family, your kids, everybody, because they're gonna use all of this to get to you. And that shit broke me. So I knew exactly, you know, what phase or stage you were in. I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave him alone for a while, but we'll cross paths again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And that's crazy because I didn't remember we crossed at that time. That shows you how far I was out, bro. And I meant well. That's the thing I wanted to be, but I was so angry at the world, bro. I was so disappointed with my family. When you turn down so many things that they would accept it, that they didn't even get the test. And I'm not gonna call celebrities names, but I don't know if you're seeing some of my stuff that I talked about. But I've turned down some big stuff for the purpose of the higher calling, because once I could see and knew what it was, I was protected. Because like you said, once you it's like you agreed to this contract with them, and it's like, okay, now they're gonna come in, the spirits, and they're gonna really show you what divides you. And I'm telling you that I'm so happy I went through it, bro. That's first of all, I'm so excited that where I am today, especially when we look around and we are witnessing today. Come on, my guy, what's going on in the world? It's like, this is amazing to us because we're really living in the time that we knew this was going to happen, but we just didn't know how. But to see it's coming to revelation, how it is coming about. All I'm saying is I'm sitting back and enjoying every minute, but I'm not talking to nobody unless they're the same spirit as we are. I know you're putting enlightenment, but they'll be led to you. The truth will send them to you, because I realize we can seek the truth, but the truth has to find you. And once it finds you, it breaks you, rearranges you, and all of that before you can actually walk in it.
But you gotta want to go through that furnace, though. People see our light, and then they think they want to go through it, and then when they come, it's like they start challenging us, like, "Oh, you think you better?" So they'll start throwing obstacles in your way, like, "Get over this, get over that, get over there." You're like, "What the fuck? Hold on, I didn't come and try to make the connection so you could try to pull me back into the mix. I came to try to get you out the shit." You know what I mean? But when in bear, like, I take it because, like, we are morning stars. I didn't really understand what a morning star was. I didn't understand what it, but people will more so bring you morning because of the comfort that you give them, right? And that's a gift within itself, that people feel comfortable telling us their dark secrets. People feel comfortable confiding in us because they just feel like when they're around you, they feel like, I know you'll never say nothing. You know what I mean? So they feel comfortable with that shit. But at the same time, it's a burden. Like, it's a, man, however.
You're always alone. Let's look at it from
You always alone, yeah. You always alone.
You don't have nobody to talk to.
Right.
You're in public. You got all these people watching you. But watch this. You got birds coming up to you. You got insects wanting to land on you.
Cats.
You got every kid that's smiling at you.
Yeah.
Their parents are mad, want to know why their kid is running up to you.
Yeah.
It's that stuff that's funny to me.
That's exactly how it be, too. They wondering why the kids see the light in you and all of that stuff. They jealous that, yeah. And at some point, that's where you just be like, you know what? I don't even like going in Walmart no more. I be like, man, because people, it's not people, it's just like the energy, my energy be good. People come up to me like, "Oh, I like your chain. I like your necklace. I like your," One lady walked up and just like touched, like she started reaching out, like grabbing the shit that was hanging from my, I said, now imagine me doing that to somebody. They would not. 6'5" black guy running up, grabbing your shoulder or touching you. You know what I'm saying? But they feel comfortable doing that shit to me. You know what I mean? I'm an approachable guy, I guess. But, however you look at this, like, a lot of people feel your energy. This is where the 8-foot radius, 6-foot radius come in. This is your fear, your ether fear. You know what I mean? So when you got an energetic fear of a magnitude like that, they're scared of that coming into a collective. When your personal mind is based off of kindness, caring for other people, you get victimized in this world because people know that you're doing stuff out of pure intent. And when you do stuff out of pure intent, there's no boosting, there's no bragging. You know what I mean? You don't want to walk around saying, I did this for somebody, I did that. You know what I mean? You're not exploiting other people's, weaknesses. You're trying to protect their weaknesses. But now that we live in a victimizing society, a lot of people are exploiting the Dando in distress, if you would say, format. So, you know, a lot of, you know, people are attacking other people, and then if you go to defend yourself, they make it seem like they're the ones that's being attacked and starts playing a victim, and it works out for them, and it's like, what the fuck type of game is going on? So it messes with you, and you have to have a psychological grip on yourself in order to not get caught up in this reality that we live in. As long as you keep telling yourself the world is one big stage, don't lose yourself in it.
Hey, but I'm gonna add one thing to that, and I want to hear Golden Queen speak. But I want to say one thing. What's happening with us right now? I don't know if you're seeing this. The truth. What I realize, the truth is actually a spirit. It's a living spirit. It's back, and I feel like what I'm experiencing. I'm gonna say for myself. Everything that people was doing to us is happening way worse to them, like instantly. Like this shift that's happened, this as above, as below, everything going reverse. Like that's why I said again, it's good to be us right now because we're about to have a good time just watching.
And I could dance all night. I'm sorry. I'm
serious, bro.
Nah, serious though. You're right.
I'm so serious. What I'm seeing right now, I'm being blown away. Just things that are going on, and I'm not, like you say, we're not doing nothing trying to talk about them, but it's like almost like they can see it happening to them when they're attacking us now, and they know where it's coming from.
And see, here's the thing. That's why I said, like, in this time, you can't touch the anointed, no matter what you want. They might have picked, you know, man might have had its idols, and that's who you see, the idols that mankind picked. All these people that's on these platforms, that's who mankind picked. That ain't got shit to do with who the universe deems righteous down here, right? So before, they might have been able to play on us, you know, do all that shit. They can't do that shit now. And karma hitting them tenfold, right? And I hate, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at the people that I encounter on YouTube. When I came over to YouTube, they thought I was operating on some fucked up shit. They thought I was, you know what I mean? I'm telling them, like, no, listen, there's a vibrational energy shift. There's a change, right? People started lying on me, you know, doing all of this shit. I wasn't attacking them or none of that. I was laughing at them. Yeah, you know me, I'm a laugh. But then shit started happening to them. They try to blame that shit on me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey, and it's bad, man. Like, honest, I'm not gonna say bad, but it is bad to the sense, like, they don't realize how serious it is. Like, it's so serious right now. And this is one thing I realize what the truth is. The truth doesn't have emotions. It is. And it's something that's been showing me. Whatever it is, it's going to reveal it. So when people say things like, well, there's a God, he won't allow this and allow that. If it's a lie in what's going on, the truth will be revealed. And that's what humanity messes up. Like, it's not about because you human, it's the truth and it's the spirit behind what's going on. So it doesn't have an emotion to be on this. That's, you know, why? Thing. No, it's the truth.
You know why? Because you have to realize what source you're connected to. Your mind is connected to God, right? So through our third eye, God is viewing this world, right? So without you even knowing it, the shit that you are putting in your mind, God is revealing on a greater scale. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's not cool. I tell people all the time, like, yo, listen, it's not cool to bring me shit. It's not cool to tell me shit because God is viewing shit in my mind. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how I'm connected. But once that shit start rolling around my mind, it's going to be revealed. The truth of it going to be revealed on the world state, on the world scale. And that's because I'm connected to a consciousness. You're connected to that consciousness too. We all are. But when you wake up to the connection to the consciousness, you can't go back to sleep. That's why I don't wake nobody up. I stopped going around waking people up. For real.
You said you stopped waking them up.
Yeah. Stop waking them up. Let them wake up. You ever wake up somebody when they don't want to be woke up? You know, people wake up agitated, frustrated.
Yeah.
Shit, listen. Wake up when you ready. You know what I mean?
trying to wake people up because they couldn't see what I saw, and I was excited because I could see it. And like you say, when I say it was coming from the best place ever, bro, I have no reason to try to turn up. I'm trying to, none of that stuff. It's like once you're done with all that, I'm so excited to want people to see what I saw, to finally realize they can't until they're ready.
Man, them motherfuckers was so mad. I was like, you don't see it. You don't see the entities. You don't see frustration rising in people. You don't see aggravation rising in people. You don't read body language. They looking at me like, what? I'm like, you don't see the colors or the auras coming off of people when they changing and shifting and shit. What you talking? You know what? Never mind. Never fucking. And then they get mad. No, tell me how. How do you reach this level of enlightenment? Motherfucker, I don't know. I didn't write this shit. You need to go talk to 1st century Apollonius or some shit if you want to find out some shit like this. I don't know who the fuck started this shit.
I like how you said it like that too, because they'll come up to you and try to make you, I don't know, it's like they want to challenge what was being revealed to us, and it's like, you're gonna lose that because I'm not even in the game. I'm not challenging nothing. I'm actually, when you're a vessel and you're allowing it, and you can't explain. That's why I just sit back and just watch, because it doesn't matter these titles that they give. I'm gonna call them titles. The titles that they giving themselves, cool, that man they got through man. And I say, that's why I always say I'm just a servant all the time for the spirit. Whatever you want to do, use me. Kind of how Bruce Lee said. He like water. What style? The best style? Bruce Lee said water. I'm like that with the spirit. However you want to do this, let's get it done.
Yeah, we can flow or we can crash. But either way, is shit gonna get where it need to go. That's just water. You know what I mean? But you know, understanding like the dimensions and stuff like that, you know, women rule the 7th dimension, so they get it in their minds first. So I would like to hear, like you said, I would like to hear Golden Queen, you know, speak on, you know, the shift that's taking place within inside them, because we know a shift is taking place within inside of mankind. But if this shift took place inside of man, you know, we rule the 3rd dimension. It already had to take place inside their dream state and their, you know what I mean?
I agree. I hope y'all can hear me good. Definitely a shift. But what I have been noticing is things seem to be honestly shifting back in the proper place now, I think. Because we were seeing a lot of, it's an energy shift, like the females or the, you know what I'm saying, women seem to be exuding more
Evil comments,
like
wanted to respond to
energy,
evil comments.
going, you know, different roles and stuff, and then vice versa. But what I'm starting to see now, where we currently are, seems like that energy is shifting back in the proper place. And I feel as though once we get to that point, seriously, things are going to get like a lot better, because it's about like the mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, I just stop sitting here and just letting y'all talk, because it's a great conversation to hear, you know, 2 men speaking the way y'all speak. Y'all really on it. I've noticed though, like even just around me or whatnot, it's definitely it's a good shift. That's all I can say. I ain't gonna say too much.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Oh, I don't know. The volume went out.
What you're saying, I totally agree. Especially, I'm glad that you mentioned the sense with the ladies, the women today, because it was all designed to also separate us from each other. Right. And now that we understand that, like we understand it, but the world is against that. Like the system is totally against what we're standing for, especially going into that department. So that's a more sensitive area. And I know even when I'm out and about right now, even dealing with the sisters, I'm going to say specifically the sisters, there's been a real good attack to divide. And I almost fell for it while I was so angry, because if you watch social media, I'm not going to go into depth, but if you watch social media and you see the things that have been said, rest in peace to Kevin Samuel, when you see the things that are being projected to show, to divide, I mean, it's been going on since the beginning, how we know with our people anyway, and I want to go into that, but it's true. So it's like to keep us away from each other, it was smart because for men to be this powerful and we're waking up, I didn't even think about, in a sense, like what my brother just said. You just hit me with something, my guy. I'm like, hold up. So if the women are waking up like that and we're getting this, that's kind of like something that's kind of crazy in a great way.
Yeah, but I can't like so it's like
different.
Because here's the thing, like when you open up your vessel to the masculine and feminine energy, you feel both parts of these energies entering your vessel, right? So like I know that women are, their minds have changed. They're not into what they used to be into, whereas though they were in a time of Lilith, where they were into materialistic things, stuff like that. Now they're in a time of like finding intellectual beings, people to connect to the mind and the spirit. Before they were stuck in the physical, right? They didn't know they were trapped in that physical. And then a lot of them wasn't dreaming. And now their dream state has awakening. Their ability to have strength over the vessel is awakening. A lot of them have started diets that they didn't think that they can start. A lot of them have, started, taking directions in their career, so on and so forth, that they didn't think that they can do. A lot of them started believing in their self more so than what before. I don't know how to perceive this to them, to give them this understanding, to let them know like your body is changing, your eating habits is changing. You're realizing that your vessel is more connected than anything. Your menstrual cycle is changing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I can't speak about that shit because I'm not them. And if I try to speak about it, they're going to be like, why the fuck you know so much about us and what the fuck is going on with us? And then that's an argument. You get what I'm saying? Like, at this point, I'm just tired of arguing. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm happy to see that she's here, like, to have it's like, because I'm like you. I'm like sitting back from them and like just watching, because my spirit kind of like said, it's gonna handle that. Don't fight it. Just let it do what it's gonna do. Right. And I'm watching. I'm very watching, but I'm also watching. I'll be out, and a lot of times, when they try to engage, I don't move not like another dude, but I don't move like that. So I'm not just trying to holler at them. I'm watching and feel their energy, their spirits, their aura, and they're realizing he is different because I did the twist 3 times. The Wonder Woman came back, and the other guys come around, they trying to do what they do to get the attention. But I'm starting to notice some women actually can sense the spirit and the energy. And I'm like, hold on, I know she can't sense what I'm sensing. And I don't ran across 1 or 2, and I think, so you're right, they're waking up.
But see, the only thing is, like, because we are multidimensional, you got to be careful what vibrational frequency you wake people up in. Because if you wake people up in their root chakra, that's what you're going to get. If you wake people up in their sacral chakra, that's what you're going to get. So you got to be, have discernment on who you waking up at what time you're waking them up, So it's like, and that's an infinite, figure, because all chakras are woke. Like if you wake up the bottom 3 chakras and you go into the next 5, 6, and 7, 4, 5, 6 or whatever, the 3 chakras that you just came out of, they're still moving. A lot of people think when they clean up their root chakra, it's over with. No, that root chakra is still, there. Like it's always going to be there. That's why I tell people like, yo, listen, the carnal is always going to take care of the carnal. I don't care how much I try to starve myself or fast, my body gonna be like, listen, if you keep this up, nigga, I'm gonna pass out on you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, and look, when we see that, because I think we understand that we're bigger than Earth. So knowing that we're galactic, we're universal with forever when you're talking about energy and spirit. That's kind of like those chakras. So you're right. You don't know where that's what's amazing about it though, because if you think of personal relationship, it's just you want to be connected to the light with it, because there's so many dimensions toward it. It doesn't stop. And when you really realize that, I like how you said the complexity of it, it's like, I'm not going to limit what it can do, because then I'm boxing in it. I just know I'm going to flow with it and allow it to do what it do. So you're right. You have to be aware to know. You got to kind of see what, it has to just have to fit.
I just be looking at people and seeing like,
it's not going to work.
Right. That's why when you take discernment, you look at people, you say, listen, I know you want to wake up, but this ain't the time to wake up for you. Because right now you're still dealing with the anger. You're still dealing with that masculine energy in the vessel that you don't want to accept, right? This is when they fight. Some men deal with the feminine energy. They fight in the feminine energy in the vessel. Or some men are fighting the masculine energy in the vessel and they accepted the feminine energy in the vessel, vice versa, right? So I don't like waking people up when they're only accepting one energy inside their self, right? So they get mad at me because I'm trying to wait for them to get the understanding that both energies exist inside of you. Now you can reach higher levels of oneself. Nah, fuck, they want the shit. You know what I'm saying? They J.G. Whitworth. It's they money and they want it now type shit.
Facts. That's why you said it best. And that's what I'm doing now when I'm out and about. Like I got to go out today and I'm around certain people. And they just be watching, and these are important people, like, with big titles, quote unquote, and that's what I love, because we don't look at stuff like that. We understand what it is, and it's, so the way we move, when we're out and about, we know the spirit is with us wherever we go. So when you get put around these quote unquote whatever names or position type of status, we're unmoved, and they can sense that. But at the same time, they want you around because that spirit that we carry with us is doing what it does. Like, really, we ain't got to do nothing. Just let it do what it do.
Yeah, but they don't like what it do, though. You gotta understand, like, I took the understanding, even with this social media stuff, I took on a greater understanding of how this works. Even when people come to you, just coming in your presence, once they meet you, their life is changed. If they interact with you at all, their life is changed. They might not like the change, but their shit is changing. You get what I'm saying?
Right. I see what you're saying. So that's what I mean. It's not like we're doing, our presence alone carries it.
Yes, because look, I'm going to tell you what's happening, right? I can't get these conversations out of my mind. Interactions with people throughout my whole lifetime, I can't get them out of my mind. So therefore, it's still rolling around in my third eye, right? So therefore, God's eye is still on them personas. And they're reaping the shit that they're sowing. You get what I'm saying? And I'm telling them, like, listen, the best thing for you is for me to be out of sight, out of mind. Because if you're in my presence, if you're bringing me conversation, if you're, it's the universe is on you. You know what I mean? And if you ain't ready to be right and stand in the light with all your imperfects, you know what I mean? I stand with mine, all of my lust, all of whatever the fuck it is that I come with. Which is basically my obsession with video games. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with mine. And marijuana, I guess. But I'm cool with my shit. A lot of people ain't cool with their guilty pleasures. Because they in some sick shit. When your guilty pleasures is not as harsh, your burden is not that hard to carry. Your cross is not that hard to carry. Some people mad that you got a light cross and you skipping across the motherfucking threshold with it. They looking at they shit like, what did I do in the previous life? But the fuck? And you like, listen, come on, I'ma help you. And they like, they want you to help, but they really want you to take a bigger load than what you can help with. And you can't. You can only take so much. You know, as an empath, you can only take so much of their load. They have to get right with their self.
And that's what they gotta get right with. They gotta go through themselves.
Yeah.
Like one thing I say, you and I, we all did it. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with myself. Not that, you know, it wasn't easy. Like, to be honest, I the only reason why I made it is because they led me. Because now that I look back, I'm so happy I took that route. But now the dreams, let's look at the dreams and things that you're getting today. Like, that's why I said it's speeding up so much, because the message we're getting now, the messages that have been sent to us now, bro, it's like I can remember the everything in a dream now. I'm like, hold up.
But my shit was happening my whole life, though. My shit, I didn't understand that. I asked why. You know, when I got taken away from my mom at 8, you know, at 7, and got put in foster care, and then I got, you know, put with my dad at like 9, and then I got taken away from my dad at 12, and then I was in 8 different, you know, group homes and 3 different foster homes. It was a lot of questioning for me. I didn't understand like how the universe was keeping me safe or hiding me, why the universe was moving me from place to place, so on and so forth. And every time I would get grounding, you know, I didn't know that the universe didn't want me to get that grounding that I was telling on myself, that I was letting off an energy like a beacon. You know what I mean? And then the universe was like, damn, I gotta move you again. Damn, you did it again. Damn, you let them find you. Damn. And the universe kept moving me. I didn't know.
You say that because when I think as a child, I always, and I'm talking about young, I always thought something was wrong with me, because I felt like something was chasing me, and it was trying to catch up with me, but I was protected. It didn't make sense, but hearing you say that, it's kind of like this has been, and you realize this has been since you were born.
Yeah.
You reflect, and you can see everything that you, and that, you know, we can attest to this, that it was definitely challenging. It was definitely different. It was definitely not understood why. But I will say this: we just thought that's just the way it was.
I didn't get it. Like,
no, you was chosen the whole time.
Right. I didn't get it. Like, I was mad. Like, you know, so like even when like I was in like cause we did like youth in action. Like, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but this is community youth in actions when I was a kid, right? And I stood out in that. Like, I was singing and performing. We was going around. I was singing and performing, you know, at the old folks home, different places like that. And I was like, I'm about to get recognized. And, you know, I had this, you know, it was April 1996, you know, like 5 days before my birthday. And I was like anxious about my birthday coming up. I was like, ooh, my birthday coming up, 420, my birthday coming up. I didn't know the connections of 420. I didn't know the energies of none of this shit, you know, at that time. You know, Hitler, birthday being 420, all of what was supposed to come and happen on 420, the Atlas Comet, you know, Lucifer Comet, you know, coming back on April 20th of last year. I didn't know none of that shit at this time. But it was like something said, you want a present? I got a present for you. On April 19th, 1996, my brother threw hot grease on me, accidentally. Right? I woke up out of a sleep. I didn't remember the dream because I woke up fast. But when I went back to think, like, what the fuck was that dream was? And when I woke up out the dream, I was on a couch and I woke up suddenly because something said, get up. My sister, who was deaf at the time, was on her way to the kitchen, and there was a pot on the stove that was on fire. So I stomped on the floor to get her attention, to stop her from going into the kitchen to touch the pot. And I pointed her to her room. And then I got my brothers and them attention because they were ones that was woke. I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, the kitchen on, you know what I'm saying? They playing the game, stuck on the game, but one of them put some grease on the stove. Now, I didn't know what was in the pot at the time, but my brother goes and grabbed the pot and take it to the water and put it under the faucet. Don't you know, a big ass fireball go up in the air? I'm behind him. I go to turn and run, and he throw the damn pot behind him. That shit hit me in the head, burned me on the arm, so on and so forth. But that happened April 19th. But when I went back and analyzed that dream, like, what the fuck was that dream? The dream was like, oh, you know, be careful what you want. You want a birthday present, you know what I'm saying? But these energies that you're connected to, you know, in this multiverse got some shit for you too. You know what I mean?
Facts. And you know what? When this is one thing I love about it. It's almost like when we're in a relationship, this is like serious where when it says jealous, I understand jealous in a different way. Once it decides, you have no choice. It knows that it's with you and you're with it. Because we know we're not going nowhere. But it knows it too. Way beyond our understanding. Imagine this. As smart as we think we are, what I'm saying right now. Because we know we're far past a lot of people how they see outside of us. So I'm just talking to us right now. This the part I love. It's smart. Because sometimes I try to beat it. Because I know it exists for real now. So I'll think of stuff and I can communicate. But then I'll realize how much more intelligent of what I'm dealing with. And it'll keep shocking me. And that's where I'm at now. And it's like, I'm loving this relationship like never before.
Once I realized the blanket of protection that the darkness had over me, I started laughing more at people than anything. See, I didn't realize it as a kid. I lied to you now, I didn't realize it as a kid. I was pushing my emotions and feelings out at so many different people because I was angry and I didn't realize what destruction I was causing in their life. And I didn't realize why people wanted to get away from me. You know what I mean? But then when I really understood it, I was like, damn, so that's what I've been doing this whole fucking time. You know what I mean? I was like, so I try to just laugh more than anything now, you know.
That's what a healing is too. Because we know this. And it makes sense when you think even the anatomy of our bodies. If you're sad, depressed, and you are letting things stress you, your immune system drops and you get sick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually it's an energy transfer. We're dealing with whatever that's doing what it's doing. It wants to absorb your energy. That's why perception is so important when we go out and everybody's trying to get this and do that to be validated and seen. To be accepted, we're not in that. So that's what once it realizes you're not in that right there, the biggest thing is to not wake them up, leave them alone, and also we want to bring you back. So it's always going to keep showing you something to make you feel like you're not outside of self, to make you feel like you're not qualified. When we already know we weren't qualified, we were chosen. See, once we realize we weren't qualified, we was chosen. It's like, hey.
And your approach is different.
You're welcome.
Your approach is different because I'm not trying to compete for something. You get what I'm saying? Once you realize that you're chosen, the competition part is out the window. You become humble with inside yourself. See, a lot of people still competing for a position you didn't even want. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people
turned it down. My thing is, because if I would have chose to because I had to make a choice on the big stage recently, some years back, and I never forget, I would have had to do something.
Yes, I have.
Call Buddy name out, but
hold on, somebody on YouTube. Hold on, I want this question to be. I want to ask you this too. Somebody on YouTube said, "Have y'all ever misused your powers to put fear in mean people?"
When he say misuse the power, because this thing is,
you can't misuse it. You can't misuse. There's no real form of misusing it. It's yours. You use it how you want to use it.
When we have wisdom and understanding the way that we understand that's with us now, what it really is this: we're protected.
Okay, so what she's saying, have you ever allowed your demons to, have their way with somebody?
I guess I wanna make sure I totally really understand that. Because I do deal with me. My worst enemy is myself. I know that.
Yeah.
So I'm not. My worst enemy is me. So I always deal with me before I deal with people. So can I feel a certain way towards what people do? Absolutely. Now I'll deal with me and talk to myself. Now I'm not gonna say that my spirit not gonna do what it want to do because I feel a certain way. I don't know.
I'm just say, like, knowingly and unknowingly, I have allowed, like, because I know where it's taking place at. I know it's mainly taking place in their dream state, and I know, whatever they pull out of that reality is what they pulled out of it. But I know that the things that protect me within a dream state. So I know that, when I can alter some shit. But at the same time, when you allow certain things, there's no real thing is being misused, because what you do is we allow a level of karma to come our way from other people, right? So when you're taking on a level of people's karma, right, all you're really doing is saying, like, okay, well, I'm not going to take on a level of your karma. Now, then they get hit with whatever tenfold of that karma. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Other words, because you know what? We take some, this is where I'm at right
Because
now.
it's like, all right, I'm not going to put good thought on you no more. Like, because that's what we do. We walk around and we put good intentions on everybody. But when certain people do certain things, you'll say, like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm not going to put good intentions on you no more. It's not saying we're going to put bad intentions. It's saying that I'm just going to take my intentions off of you.
But you know what's interesting? That I never thought about it the way you just said it, but that's exactly what I've been doing more than in my life now. What I'm doing now, because right now we have to protect our energy, bro, for what's going on. And we know that. So my thing is this: what I used to give out to protect them as they was using to attack me, my truth has come to me and said, the only reason why they're being protected is because you are doing it. Release it and allow. And that's what it showed me. And now I've actually pulled back and say, you know what? Truth have your way. I'm not going to step in the way of what's going on anymore. And I'm going to tell you something. Since I've been doing that, instant is what I'm seeing with stuff happening.
I put good intentions on everybody I that cross my path. No matter if they got bad intent for me, I put good intentions on all of them. Now, I might laugh and joke about some things, but my intentions was always pure. And that's what the universe is measuring, our intent.
What intention is one thing, meaning we want well, but if they are attacking against the
I gave them feelings and emotions. I gave a couple of people, you told a couple of people about themselves, but that don't change your intent. I still wish good intent for them, but you still got to tell them about themselves. If a person ain't carrying themselves, morally, and, there's certain levels to, order. And once you see somebody like, come on, man, damn well we better than that of what is humankind. Right? Even though you're having this human experience, don't become the experience that you're having. Realize that you're, a spiritual being having this human experience. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's the only thing that frustrates me. I don't care.
Working out, when you're working out, I always explain to people, when you're working out, you have to tear down the muscle fibers to build bigger muscle. So it hurts to train, really, but after you do it for such a while, you get used to it and you get better and you realize that's how it works. Well, the same in the spirit. You can't become better without challenges and being pulled and stretched. Right. And that's why I tell people, the more you're getting stretched and pulled, it's not to hurt you. In the spirit realm, it's trying to make you better and stronger. It's just we've been taught in this world that we're in, the lie that means something's wrong. It's like we're broken from all that.
And that's the thing. Like, I think people have fell out of the realization of what allowing their conscious to soar really means, right? Once you realize that your conscious is in your mind, and your mind is stretched out over the infinite of space and time, because time doesn't exist in your mind, and then you have fragments of different timelines in your mind. Once you realize the magnitude of that playing field, you don't want to go back to playing in no three-dimensional realm. Shit.
It's boring.
Yeah.
this right here is something. That's what I'm saying. Every day I'm waking up, my man. It's like I'm so excited to be alive now. It's like, what's next? What's next? It's like I'm like like a kid or something.
Yeah, don't try to put me back in those three-dimensional mindset shit. I worked hard to get. Go
Hey,
ahead.
I gotta act when I go outside. Like when I walk, because I'm by myself right now, but when I go out here, I actually gotta dumb down how I really feel because I don't want to project what I really feel inside, or it's gonna cause a problem.
That's why I put music in my head, because music allows me to be this. How can I say it? Okay, music allows me to distract other people from trying to learn me. Because when they try to learn me, they find their self in a reflection that they don't want to look at. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. When they see you, this one is funny. You're saying stuff that's been covered. That's why I'm laughing. It's like echoing. When they see you, they see themselves because you are a mirror, but they're gonna see themselves. That's what's dangerous.
But they're gonna see their self, and they don't want to see.
Yes, and it's like I want you to. You can't see me because you gotta see you.
Yeah.
Because that's what. And it's the thing. Because you are a mirror, it's gonna. It's almost like you'd rather not see me.
I'm not there. That's why I say I use music as that distraction, because I'm not there. Like, don't look at me because it's a reflection that you might not want to look upon. You know what I mean? I'm only as great as you. You know what I mean? I'm you, but I'm the person that you're scared of being. I'm the person that you're scared of standing in that light of. You know what I mean? And I hate it because, I mean, I don't hate it. I hate to say that word. I don't want to use that word. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like it because I hate giving people that, right? Because certain thoughts of theirs seep into my vessel, and then I'm like, damn, that's how you thinking? You know what I mean? Everybody ain't putting good thoughts on you. Some people trying to look at you as a criminal, a crook, you know what I'm saying, a nigga. Like, you know how to... And I be trying to tell people, like, look, I'm a little bit more than all of that shit that mankind created. All those titles that y'all created, we a little bit more than all of that. But don't look upon me unless you ready to look upon your true self. Like, because you can fake it, but eventually... You can show me your representative all you like, but eventually your true self is gonna show, because we force people to be better than the person that they really are, just a reflection of it. Like, I go into workplaces and I work my ass off. I don't give a fuck if the next person working their ass off. I really don't care what the next person doing. I'm living in my mind. I'm taking the experience and I'm working according to the best of my ability. You know what I mean? And that's it. Other people get mad at that. They tell you to slow down. You're working too hard. You're making them look bad. What? I'm in competition with myself. You know?
But you know what? We are necessary for what's going on. Because I'm gonna tell you, we see what's going on in the world. Let's speed up for what's actually taking place in the world today. And we can see with the 2031 Atlas, with the doomsday fish, with CERN, with the ocean, with the weather, the temperature, as you say, everything is changing. With the weather people, or the different, far as us getting alerts, not closing down their shops.
Okay,
And
you want me to tell you what's about to happen within the next 2 months?
They know something's going on.
You want me to tell you? You want me to tell you what's about to happen? We're not going to see it unless we look at people. We're not going to see the vibrational shift unless we look at people. Okay? We can only read this through the collective. You know? It's kind of like Wanted, or one of those movies where they, show you some thread and you're able to read the future through the thread. But now you have to read it through the vibrational frequency of mankind. It's a little difficult to read, but you can still read it. Okay, for instance, Kai Cenat will break the internet with over 2 million subs this month to his subathon. So at the end of this month, Kai Cenat will break the internet with close to 2 million subs to his subathon. That's one thing that you can say is going to happen in the future. This will change the shape of everything because this will make him, you know, the money that will pour into Twitch alone and the streaming with AMP. They know what the world is paying attention to. And attention rules everything right now. So people are going to pay attention to this. Streamers will do outrageous numbers over the next couple of months. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Right.
In 2026, when Kai Cenat opened up Streamer University of the class of 2026, this will change and shape schooling. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, yes, Kai Cenat is using it in a way of showing people how to become, you know, low vibrational streamers by saying controversy and, you know, controversy sells. So make sure you beefing with people, so on and so forth. And, you know, he was going to do the Streamer Island thing, but I think they backed that up after that YouTube streamer, Pew Pew, the other YouTube streamer, and end up getting a death penalty. So I think, you know, we're going to see streaming move into a more positive light. We're just not going to realize it until, like, you know, after some more shit shake loose. That's going to be, you know, one big thing that's taking place. That's why you see the presidency pushing towards the AI technology and using AI. Anybody who's implementing or helping that out will probably get, you know, grants, whatever. And, you know, also one of the big things will take place, you know, Yellowstone. We will see a great, I'm not going to say that. Okay. All right. Leave that one out. All right. So, okay. My fault. What? You know I can't tell him about that part.
Yeah. No, I laugh because I actually got to go take care of something. I got an event I got to go to, but I just want to thank you for inviting me, being a guest. It's definitely been very inspiring, and it's gonna, you know, catapulting me to move forward, which I always do. It's good to know I got more people on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. We all out here. We're, you know, when there was a time that we actually ran across each other, they changed that up, you know, put us in separate algorithms, suppress different things, you know, so on and so forth. This is why you don't see those groups of like-minded conspiracy conversations or whatever. You know, there was a time where we were having conversations of flat earth, round earth, you know, whether we can make it past the magnetosphere, all of that stuff. But, you know, here we are. I don't know how the fuck, but here we are. We pushing more knowledge and intellect is coming back into this verse. We just got to keep on striving for that of which always is, always was, and always will be.
Hey man, thank you very much, Golden Queen. I appreciate you. Many blessings to you all. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later.
Absolutely.
Blessings to you too. Excellent conversation. Have a wonderful day.
Same.
You already know. Be great in everything that you do. That's why I listen to cartoons in my head. And I say, hey, what a wonderful time today. If you can learn to walk and play and get along with each other. You got to listen to the heart, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street. You know what I mean? It's a simple message, and it comes from the heart. So believe in yourself, for that's the place to start. What? Shut up. I put a song in my head quick. Fuck you mean? I'm sorry. All right, for the people on YouTube, let's go back to listening to Trump. Unless you got something to add, Golden, you understand? Then you can add, you know.
Nah, y'all did excellent. That was such a great conversation. That's why I was just listening and I was doing some commentary and whatnot, but I love to hear people talk like that.
I mean, I knew he was going to bring a great conversation. Like I said, I ran into him, you know, in the past. Like, a lot of people They remember the voice, they remember the conversation, they just can't quite put a finger on it. But my mind is like a steel trap, so I fucking remember shit that I really don't want to remember. But anyway. But yeah, so I knew he would bring a great conversation if he came up. It's other people, but I haven't built this page for that conversation. I've been building this page for, the game, because I realized, I just realized, man, listen, I've been running across these people on here, and if they don't want to unify by now, then why the freak am I racking my brain trying to tell people we better together, you know what I mean? For just
keep pushing forward.
Yeah, for 7 to 6 years, I've been on this platform pushing out knowledge, wisdom. They done came across 3 pages. The 35K page that I turned into the business page, I was going live from that page. They, blocked me from going live, made a new page, got it to 22K, and then they permanently banned it. I said, oh, so every time I reach over 20K, these motherfuckers going. So now I'm just like, that's why I'm stagnant with this one. This one's at 18. I'm like, hold up.
You're doing great. You're doing really good. I'm so glad to see, you know what I mean, like the progress, the repeated progress.
Well, yeah, they'll give me they'll give me the numbers, but they won't give me the financial, however you want to look at it. It's a TLC thing. It's a TLC thing. You remember how they did TLC. I'm not trying to sign on to none of these contracts. That's what they fucking mad about. They keep on trying to get me to sign on to I'm not trying to sign on to none of these. I don't know, because I don't know what it entails. You see how Jaguar was when she came on the page and she started saying, say Yahweh's your God, say Yahweh's your God. That shit scared the shit out of me. It was thundering and lightning and outside too. I was like, who the fuck? What type of energy is she pulling around this motherfucker?
Right. We gotta be careful, protect ourselves against it. And it just seemed like they tried to get you to engage in, like you said, the low vibrational and the dark things. And if you do that, then there's benefit. But if you want to operate in the light, you want to be a spiritual being, you want to be positive, then they want to suppress your progress. But they may have times where it's like, it may hit you a little bit. You take a few shots, but if you're really a light being, you always want to come back. When you come back 10 times harder every time.
I be mad because I don't be mad because I do understand how this works. Like, you dive down into the low vibrations and you try to pull as many people up as possible, without letting it suck you in, and then you get the hell up out of there. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you linger down there too long, then you know what I'm saying?
You get sucked in.
Yeah. So it's like I be going down there and I be mad because I didn't pull as many people back up as I'd be like, damn, so I got the attention of all these people, but I didn't pull them the fuck. You know what I mean? It be getting frustrating. So it's like the universe will put a bunch of people's attention your way, and then you can only pull in a certain few because you're a fisher of men. So you got to think like a bunch of fish, you know what I mean? But you only fishing, you only getting a couple here and there. You know what I mean? Once you realize.
Tuna that day.
Huh?
You ain't catching enough tuna that day. It's all right, but you come back and you'll catch more next time.
Right, and then that's why I say every day brings a chance to, opportunity for, a greater sense of purpose of oneself, so that's great with inside itself. Hey, YouTube, the numbers dropped down dramatically. We're going to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for y'all time. Love is love. Namaste, Ashe, salutations. If nobody told you that they love you today, let us be the first, not the last, to tell you that we love you. Remember, one's image of oneself should be greater than reality. I got to take care of a bunch of things today. The carnal got to take care of the carnal. So got to go out and find a way to bring some money in. Hopefully once we get monetized on YouTube, we can, do greater things, But until then, in the meantime, between time, shit, be kind to yourself and each other. And be great at whatever you do. You know what I mean? Be great at whatever you do, YouTube.